This will be the sixth meeting of the year between the Penguins and the Flyers. In Game 1, Mario Lemieux scored twice to lead the Penguins to a 4-3 win. Then on November 6th at the Spectrum, Tim Kerr's 2 power play goals powered the Flyers to a 5-4 victory. Back at home at the Civic Arena on November 26th, and Frank Pietrangelo was brilliant in goal, stopping 41 shots to lead the Pens to a 4-3 victory. In the Spectrum on December 8th, the Pens took an early 2-0 lead behind this goal by defenseman Paul Coffey. But Pelly Ekman scored twice, including a goal kicked in by defenseman Jimmy Johnson. The scene is once again set at the Spectrum as the Penguins meet the Flyers next. Pittsburgh Penguin Hockey is sponsored by Icy Light, dedicated to the preservation of the wildlife. And by Iron City Beer, you can't keep an Iron Man down. And by your Western Pennsylvania Acura dealers, if you drive an Acura, you'll buy an Acura. It's a hockey night in Pittsburgh. Tonight from the Spectrum in Philadelphia, the Penguins meet the Philadelphia Flyers. Hello again, everybody, and welcome to Philadelphia as the Penguins battle the Flyers for the 6th time this year. The Flyers lead the season series 3-2. But, of course, that all-important streak that the Penguins have here in this building, having not won since January 20th, 1974, and they'll be trying to break it once again as they come in here. More importantly, I think, though, for the Penguins, Paul, is the fact that they lost to the Montreal Canadiens, one of the better clubs in the league. I think they want to try to establish themselves in this Patrick division. They've slipped now to 3rd place, and they really feel they got to get it going again.
I think you're right, Micah. But nevertheless, though, I think the fact that they were able to win 3 games in a row before losing to Montreal is a tribute to them and a tribute to the character that they do have, because Tom Barrasso has been out of the lineup, and he's a guy who was winning a lot of games for them when they were hot. But the thing that you're talking about in the standings, the thing that I think of immediately is the home ice advantage in the playoffs. You know, you'd like to win the division. Obviously, that's the goal. But the main thing is finishing the top 2 spots, because you want to get the home ice in the playoffs. The Philadelphia Flyers have been playing good hockey for the last several weeks. And yet, even though they've been playing very well, they haven't really been able to close that gap. And the only way to do it is when you're meeting head-to-head to beat the teams you're playing. And I think the Flyers really look at this as an opportunity to get within striking distance of those top 2 spots tonight.
You talked about Tom Barrasso, the Penguin goaltender, and, of course, Barrasso will be back in the lineup tonight, but not as the starter. He's going to be a backup to Wendell Young.
And Wendell Young is a former Flyer who beat the Penguins here last October 18th by a score of 3-2, one of 2 games he won here in this building last year. And then he was sent packing to Hershey only a couple of weeks later. I asked him if he knows the Flyer shooters. He said it really doesn't mean anything, but I know one thing. They know me. They know his tendencies, and that should give the Flyers a little bit of an advantage against Wendell Young, but he looked extremely sharp in warm-ups today.
All right, the Penguins against the Flyers. It's coming up next. Sit back and relax.
The Penguins and the Flyers meet up for the 6th time this year. The Flyers are 3-2 in 5 games against the Pens this season.
The Flyers won at Pittsburgh 3-2 on December 29th. And, of course, the Flyers, with a record here at home of 16-9-2, they've been very impressive here of late. The Penguins on the road 9-13-2, and the Pens are 5-4-1 on the last 10 on the road. The Flyers are 10-2-1 their last 13 here at this building. However, they've lost 2 of their last 3 on home ice.
In fact, the Flyers have cooled off in general. They have cooled down to a 2-3-1 record in their last 6 games, but that's a little bit misleading because they were shut out by Clint Malarchuk 1-0. They tied Edmonton 1-1, and that was supposed to be a great game for Bill Ranford. We didn't see the game, but we understand he played extremely well. Ron Sutter is going to be a key tonight. He's leading in plus-minus. He's got 17 goals on a 40-goal pace for the Flyers this year in 30 games. Ron Hextall leads the league in games played with 42. He'll be making his 16th straight start here tonight. He's been playing great for the Flyers, back to his old form. And since Mike Bullard arrived here in the trade for Peter Zezel, the Flyers are 17-7-2, and their power play has been really hot too, and I think he's helped in that department. Wendell Young has started the last 4 out of 5 games for the Penguins, and the Pens are banged up a little bit here tonight. No question about it. Randy Cunningworth, of course, on the shelf. Bob Airey is bothered by bruised ribs, and a couple of guys nursing some backs that are giving him a problem. And, of course, Tom Barrasso out of the lineup, so the Pens are going to have to suck it up a little bit here tonight.
All time, the Flyers lead the series 82-31 with 19 ties. And here at the Spectrum, some phenomenal numbers, 55-5-6. And the last Penguin victory, of course, came on the 20th of January, 1974. I was looking at the roster sheet as they ran it on the Philadelphia broadcast here prior to the start. And there were 5 former Flyers or Flyers who played in that game for Philadelphia who played for the Penguins. Just to name a few: Tom Bladen, Horace Kindrechuk, Ross Lonsberry. I just saw it briefly, and I'm trying to think of the rest of them. Oh, no, Eddie Van Impe might have been on there. He was not. I'm not sure, but just there's a number of them that played in that game against the Penguins who lost. If we can run down a sheet of that, and we'll tell you if the Penguins should be able to get ahead in this game. As we trail on down, they've got presentation here at center ice. The wives of the Philadelphia Flyers every year hold an annual fundraiser for cancer, and they raised a considerable amount of money here this past couple of weeks. They had a game at 11 o'clock in the morning and had the big carnival that they have here every year. And this is one of the better charity fundraisers in the National Hockey League. The Flyers really run this first class, and they have been able to really help some people with the help of the wives of the Philadelphia Flyers players.
They had the carnival this year in the afternoon following an early game. The game started at 11 o'clock in the morning. They played the Islanders and beat them 7-4, and Paul Holmgren said it wasn't very easy to get up for that game that early in the morning. It was kind of a strange game, but they did win it, and they raised over $700,000, and they did it in 2 sessions this year. Mo Mantha's wife, Kathy Mantha. I'm sure the Penguin wives will recognize her right away.
We knew we had accomplished something very special, and we were right. This year alone, we've raised over $750,000 to benefit the Barry Ashby Research Laboratories in Hahnemann.
Barry Ashby, of course, a former Flyer defenseman who died of cancer.
Of all of our great Flyers fans, and thanks to the hard work and dedication of our entire Flyers family, including the alumni and the Hershey Bears, the success of the Flyers Wives Carnival has been unequaled by any other franchise in sports. Dr. Brodsky, it is my distinct honor, on behalf of all of us, to present you with our check, if I can get it, for $761,518.
There's very little doubt that the Flyers Wives Fight for Lives Carnival, in a period of 13 years, has become one of the premier charitable events, not only in Philadelphia, but throughout the nation. Very few charities can ever raise greater than $750,000 in a single day. Once again, I would like to thank the very dedicated and loyal Flyers fans, the great Flyers organization, Ed and Jay Schneider, Fred Schabel, Fran and Sylvan Tobin. And last but not least, the Flyers wives and the great team. Just one comment about the Institute. This year will be the first anniversary of the new bone marrow transplantation center. It's working beautifully. Our results are great. We already have to expand it. 4 more beds are being added with 20 more step-down beds. The field is being expanded to include not only leukemia, but lymphoma, as well as breast cancer. The results are great, and thank you again, and thank you all fans.
I believe the young lady that just made the presentation of the check is Tim Kerr's wife, Kathy Kerr. Well, you can have a little rivalry going with the Flyers and Penguins, but you certainly have to respect what the Flyers have done here over the years to raise a lot of money for a lot of good causes. First-rate organization. You can't deny that, Paul. They really run a nice one here.
Well, there's no doubt about it, and it shows up in the win and loss column, too. They have 16 straight winning seasons. Only one organization in hockey has done better. And it's just unbelievable what they've been able to do as far as winning games and just doing everything right here and making money. The Snyders certainly know how to do it. This building is extremely successful, too. And as nice as this presentation is, I'm not so sure that it's fair to do this to the visiting team, regardless of the importance of it or the significance of it, to make them stand there like that. We've seen it happen a lot to the Penguins, particularly in Long Island. The Islanders seem to do a lot of it.
Well, here from the Spectrum in Philadelphia, our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you
Patty Munch with the singing of our national anthem. And it's just like being in New Jersey with a 7:45 start.
Yep. Just to expand on what we were saying about the Flyers record, Mike, it's pretty unbelievable. They have, in the last 16 years, won 721 regular season games, second only to Montreal, 738. And of course, Montreal considered the most successful organization in history of the sports. Flyers do a pretty good job. But the Penguins would like to just stare that right in the face.
There might be a few people that argue with you on that, with Montreal being the most successful ever, with the Celtics, of course.
Yeah.
And now the Lakers. Bill McCree will be the referee tonight. Kevin Collins and Leon Stickle will be the two linesmen. And we'll look at the starting goaltenders and tell you about them in just a moment. The Penguins, of course, going tonight with Wendell Young.
Wendell Young, 5-3 with a 5.63 goals against average. Played in the Flyers farm system last year and was 33-15-1 with the Hershey Bears. Ronnie Hextall making his 16th straight start tonight, a 2.99 goals against average, 22-17-3.
Penguins will start Mario Lemieux at center with Bob Airey on the left wing and Robbie Brown on the right side. Both Lemieux and Brown are headed to the All-Star game, as is Paul Coffey, who's back on defense. He'll be joined with Randy Hillier, and the Flyers will counter here with Ron Sutter at center ice, Rick Tocchet on right wing, and Petty Ekman on the left side. Defensively, Samuelson and Howe, and look for Samuelson and Howe to be on the ice whenever Lemieux is. This is the matchup they want to try and get as far as defensive situation against Lemieux. Samuelson's one of the few players in the league that matches up against him with the size. Penguins move left to right. McCreary ready to drop the puck. Here we go. Pens and Flyers, and the Penguins control. Lemieux feeds it back into the Penguins in for Paul Coffey. Randy Hillier will take his pass, lay it up the right wing boards into Philadelphia ice. Mark Howe clears. Back to center. Hillier swinging over now to Bob Airey, and Airey of Pittsburgh rams it up into the Flyers zone. It'll come behind the net, stopped by Hextall. Again, the Penguins with Tom Barrasso as a backup tonight. Frank Pietrangelo is a scratch. Here's Sutter, left wing going to Howe, to the Penguins in, right down the slot. Hillier takes him away from the slot, and the puck also. Young misplayed it. He comes near corner to Rick Tocchet. Tocchet to Ron Sutter. Sutter back left point to Howe, shoots one on. That's stopped by Wendell Young. Here's Lemieux back, might have a chance against Howe. Breaking in to the Flyers in. Lemieux cuts in against Hextall. Can't make a shot. Now puts it back in front. And Petty Ekman clears. Boy, Hextall played that well, didn't he? Here's Eklund. Rambling back to the Penguin line. Down the right side. Mark Howe giving chase to Lemieux. Now it comes in off a stick and bounced back to center. Gord Murphy, the young rookie defenseman for the Flyers, handles it, goes to Rick Tocchet. Now Lemieux coming in one-on-one against Hextall, but Hextall just gave him nothing to shoot at all with Howe trailing the play. Gord Murphy rams one right to the Penguin net, and Wendell Young will glove that and hold on. Jay Wells and Mario Lemieux collided with one another as Wells had just come on the ice. But Lemieux, when he had that opportunity, got in, Paul, he realized he just didn't have any net to work with. And then he tried to lay it back in front. Nobody was home.
Well, Hextall read the play very well because he knew that Howe had forced Mario Lemieux to go to one side. So what he did was just come out and take the only angle that Mario really would have at that point. He knew that Lemieux wasn't going to be able to swing back the opposite way because he had already established himself position on Howe, and Howe was in a position where there's no way Mario could have cut back to the left. So Hextall just read Mark Howe. He just read off the defenseman and made the play, cutting down the angle.
Danny Quinn against Tim Kerr. Kerr out here for the Flyers, handling the draw. Dave Poulin also out with Brian Propp. The Penguins have a new line out. It'll be Dave Hannon with Dan Quinn and Troy Loney. And Hannon handles the puck, and the Penguins in. Going to Steve Dykstra. Pushed up off the boards, left wing side, and Kerr feeds it back to the Penguin blue line, but Steve Dykstra handles that. Penguins decked out in their traveling black uniforms. It comes to Loney. Left wing to Quinn in front. Got a man wide open. Cutting for the net in front. Hannon. Oh, what a save by Hextall on Davey Hannon. The net is up off its moorings. Big save by Hextall on Dave Hannon. And Hannon gave him $1 million move. Hextall was worth $2 million on that play. Oh, goodness gracious.
You don't see too many breakaways like that start inside the attacking zone. I don't know where the Flyers were on that play. Hannon went in on the backhand. He lifted that shot too much. He had the 5-hole, but unfortunately, rather than keeping it along the ice, he chipped it up in the air, and it hit Hextall underneath the thigh, right between the legs. Hannon's backhand shot just a little too high. Rather than being on the ice, it was up in the air and hit Hextall. Or otherwise, it'd have been right in the 5-hole. Hextall really went spread eagle on him and gave him a lot of room to shoot at.
Well, Davey certainly guessed right on Hextall.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, and he made the play he had to make, but Hextall was even tougher. Boy, he's in the game early, isn't he? Minute 35 in, the Penguins have had 2 scoring chances. One for Hannon, the best one, and Lemieux, of course, breaking in alone. Hextall now behind the Flyer net. Handles the puck off to Derek Smith, and off his stick and up into the seats, and we'll get a stop and play and a face-off in Flyers territory. Now, Mario Lemieux leads the National Hockey League with 137 points on 54 goals. That's tops in the league. 83 assists, also number one. Second is Wayne Gretzky with 112, and Bernie Nichols of Los Angeles with 111. Quebec and Montreal playing tonight at Quebec City, and the Canadiens lead there 1-0 on Stéphane Richet's 16th goal of the year in the first period. Here we've got no score, and the Flyers bounce it back to center. Jimmy Johnson of Pittsburgh going to Dykstra. We'll give you the scratches, all of them, in a moment. Pass to center ice, picked off by Terry Cochran, the Flyer defenseman, number 29, former Ranger and Nordique. Lay it up into the Penguins in, and Jim Johnson. Line pass over. Bullard gets to it. Left point pass to Karkner. Throw it in behind the Penguin net, and Jim Johnson avoided a check by Scott Mellenby. Puck sails around to the far side. This is a good checking line the Flyers have on right now with Mellenby, and he's a hard, heavy hitter, but the Penguins have it. A lead pass intended for Quinn. Boy, the Penguins are getting people open behind the defense, but Mellenby now counterattack for the Flyers with the Penguins in a Bullard. Shooting, and he missed the net. I don't think Young saw that one to the last second and went wide of the goal. Laid back to center by the Penguins. Mark Howe of Philadelphia ready to carry it in. The Flyers in the midst of a line change. Howe breaks into the Penguins in. Doug Sullivan, number 15 on, and Caulfield on for the Penguins also. Caulfield winds it over to Gordon of Pittsburgh. Back in the Penguins, Danny Quinn. No score first period, almost 3 minutes in. Penguins dump it in. They go to a change now, wholesale. And Samuelson up for Dave Brown. Brown off the stick of Craig Berube. So they've got Berube out here with Brown and Doug Sullivan. The Flyers do. Flyers are offside at the Penguin line as they try and come in. No score first period. The Penguins and the Flyers here in Philadelphia on the Penguins Hockey Network. We're back to play at the Spectrum in Philadelphia, and Gordon of Pittsburgh on defensively with Chris Dahlquist, and the Penguins bank it into the Flyers in. Mark Howe around to Shel Samuelson, but play is whistled down. We've got penalties coming up here apparently. Well, the net came off the moorings again. That's what happened. Bill McCurry spun on that. Let's check the scratches. Mo Mantha for the Flyers out with a groin pull. Ilka Sinisalo also injured. Murray Craven with a bad foot. The Penguins have Frank Pietrangelo scratched tonight. Rod Buskus out with a knee injury. Mark Recchi, the rookie, is scratched. Randy Cunnyworth out with a bad foot. And defenseman Arnie Zalapski, of course, out with a sore knee, recovering from surgery, trying to get himself back into shape. 16:49 left, first period. Face off from outside the Flyers line. They say the Penguins forced the net off the moorings, and it's played back now to Penguin territory. Dineen bounce it up to Jay Caulfield, and he'll whack it up into the Flyers in. Hextall settles it for Shel Samuelson. Originally played with the New York Rangers. Samuelson labors to come up out of his own end. He'll come to center now and blast it in. Around to the far side. Cullen of Pittsburgh going for it. John Cullen handled by Tim Kerr. And now lifted by the Flyers back inside the Penguin line. Gord Dineen off the right wing boards, and that'll come all the way to the Flyers in. They'll wave off any icing. Hextall is going to move it up himself. He's the best in the league at handling that biscuit with a stick. There isn't any question about that. Samuelson up the center, off the stick now. Brian Propp, lead pass for Lemieux, too far. Hextall goes after it right away. Doesn't want Mario around that puck at all. Goes around to Samuelson. That's what Hextall can do so well. You saw it right there as he just took that puck, blasted it around the boards, and out it came. Penguins have to regroup and go back into their own end. Coffey leads the rush back. Coffey's pass to Bob Airy to the Flyer line down the left wing. Drop pass to Lemieux. Lemieux one-on-one against Wells. Now swinging right side, looking for it is Hillier. It's behind him. Randy went for it. Lemieux in digging also along the near boards. Jay Wells worked it free to Gord Murphy, his defense partner. Number 3, near boards. Flyers in. The Flyers do. Tap it ahead back to center. And Hillier push it right back into the Flyers zone. Gord Murphy has to handle it. Robbie Brown's on him. I think the key really for the Penguins here tonight, they've got to check the Flyers. They've got to play somewhat of their game. They've got to go in and make things happen against the defensemen, and they've got to be a better forechecking club. They can't freewheel too well. Here's Coffey. Lemieux's wide open left side. He's behind the defense again. Cuts in. Lemieux's there. His shot. Hextall robs him again. Hextall stopping Lemieux on a great glove save.
Well, it's 3 breakaways for the Penguins. Or maybe 2.5 would be a better way to describe it.
Here's Hillier now as the Flyers force it back into the Penguins in. Ronnie Brown going to Coffey. Coffey to the Flyers in. He'll step in. Going to Lemieux. Turned around looking for the puck. Can't find it. And the Flyers' Mike Bullard plays it right over the glass and up into the seats. Samuelson and Lemieux have a little staring contest, but Lemieux denied by Ron Hextall. No score first period here in Philadelphia on the Penguins Hockey Network. Well, Mario Lemieux with another opportunity here against Ron Hextall just moments ago, but Hextall stopped him with a glove save, and now in the right wing circle, the Flyers in. Quinn off to Hannon, who drills it over to the right point to Jimmy Johnson. Lay it in the near corner for Troy Loney of Pittsburgh. Samuelson ties him up. And the Flyers' Mike Bullard comes over to take it. The Bullet trying to get out. He can't do it. Still a bouncing puck. Loney fighting for it, and Hextall very coolly comes over, works the puck away from the net and back to center. Loney of the Penguins drives it right back in behind the Flyer goal. Hextall sets it up for Shell Samuelson. Happy to have you on board tonight on our simulcast here from Philadelphia. Puck play to the Penguin zone, and Jimmy Johnson moves it right back to center. Samuelson up into Penguin territory, and Jimmy Johnson knocks it down. Cutting behind his own net for the Pens. Around the boards, Loney is hit hard by Samuelson. Penguins still stymied a bit in their own zone, and Mellamy comes over. He's a great hard worker, going now to Derek Smith. Left wing pass. Howe doesn't go in and take it, and Dave Hannon will. And into Pittsburgh in a scoreless game, first period. Dish it off to Steve Dykstra. Now it comes to Jimmy Johnson. Pass broken up by Bullard, but it bounces right to Dan Quinn. He left the puck for Dykstra, but a pass is too short. Mellamy cruises right back into the Penguins in. Mellamy with a wrist shot. Glove easily by Young. He'll leave it for Dykstra. Somebody's lost a stick. It comes around the near side, and Dykstra backhanded away to center ice. Caulfield went for the puck. Bork comes over. He is leveled against the boards by Jay Wells on a hard hit. Lifted back in behind the Flyer net, and Gord Murphy. Murphy and Wells have been caught up ice here on several occasions here in this first period. The Penguins have had opportunities. The puck hops right back into the Penguins in, and an icing call against Philadelphia. Well, so many times we've seen the Penguins come into this building and get an early goal on the Flyers. Not one, maybe two a couple of times. And they haven't been able to do it here tonight. I don't know if that's a sign of good things to come or not. And only to watch the Flyers bounce back and come in. Wells with a hard hit on Phil Bork.
I'll tell you, Bork was fortunate that he went down on that play when he tried to clear the puck, because if he'd have stayed upright and Wells would have drilled him into the boards with no glass there, he really would have been cut in half by the boards. But instead he went down just as he cleared the puck, and he didn't really take the full impact of that hit by Jay Wells, who really had him lined up along the near boards.
Jay Wells out with Gordy Murphy, and Wells, of course, from Los Angeles. I'll tell you an interesting story if we get time here on Wells and his rookie partner, Gord Murphy. And here is Wells now cutting back up ice. Wells to center circle into the Penguins in an offside play. Wells has Murphy as his roommate, as I believe, and they were out one day, I guess, to in Los Angeles or somewhere looking at old pictures of movie stars. And Wells, did you see that today?
Yeah.
Wells mentioned to him, he says, well, there's John Wayne, and Gord Murphy had no idea who John Wayne was. In the same vein, I was going to tell a joke to Mario Lemieux last night when we came in on the bus, and I said, you know the Lone Ranger, don't you? And he looked at me. He had no idea who the Lone Ranger was. So I'm tacking on the years, partner. And I think he was dead serious. I asked him twice, and he gave me that blank look. And somebody said, Tonto. That was Dave Maloney. He said, Tonto. Now, he still didn't register. Here comes Caulfield. Caulfield's pass up ahead to the Flyers in. Cut off by Gord Murphy. And Murphy, the youngster going to the veteran Brian Propp, is passed too far for Tim Kerr. Kerr ever so dangerous. Kerr and Rick Tocchet lead this club in scoring with 54 points apiece. Lemieux's double that. Here's Propp now into the Penguins in. Propp comes down, knocked down by Dineen. Loose puck in front. Wendell Young lays it away and right back to center. Now, a little different game than what we've seen with many of the Penguin Flyer games. They've been a little more disciplined tonight. There's been some pretty good hitting, but not the craziness that we've seen with the two clubs. Tough game here early in the season off the near boards Penguins zone. Bob Airy looks for Lemieux. He's tripped on the play by Ron Sutter, and action continues. Shell Samuelson. Flip it ahead to Pelly Eklund. Going to the Penguins in down the right wing. Airy broke it up, and here's Robbie Brown back 2-on-2 with Lemieux. Might be a chance here. Brown comes in, goes to Lemieux. 1-on-1 against Howe, and he shoots, and a great save again by Ron Hextall. Boy, that was a great shot by Lemieux, too, and a good save by Hextall. Lemieux really got a good wrist shot off. Samuelson throw it around the boards. It comes to Pelly Eklund, and he'll bounce it right back to center. Center to Tocchet, 3-on-2, but up to Howe, left wing, back to Tocchet, man in front here, center, turning backhand shot. Save made Young. It'll go in behind the Penguin net, and play is going to be whistled down. It'll be off Sutter's stick on the back of the net, and we'll get a face-off outside the Penguin line. Oh, the Pens are getting opportunities here, but they can't beat Ronnie Hextall. No score, 11:32 to go in the first on the Penguins Hockey Network. Along with Paul Steigerwald, Mike Lang here at the Spectrum in Philadelphia.
You mentioned, Mike, about Shell Samuelson being the guy that the Flyers would like to have out there against Mario Lemieux, and what they try to do is pick Lemieux up at the blue line when he's, or if he's hanging high up by the red line, and get right up on top of him, and don't let him get any speed coming through the neutral zone. But Lemieux has been able to sneak behind the defense tonight and get into positions where he can break free of those defensemen.
Bob Airy comes off the left wing on this line with Lemieux, and the Flyers break into the Penguins in, put it in front of the net. Wendell Young clears it away. Loney will take over on the left side of Lemieux's line, but it comes to Tocchet shooting. Young the save off his shoulder. Rebound. Here's Tocchet. Can't tee it up. It'll come free to Robbie Brown, and he'll give it down to Mario Lemieux. Lemieux, a rink-wide pass to Randy Hillier. Slowly sent it ahead for Robbie Brown. Brown up in it on a hip check. Down he goes, but a penalty coming up. An interference call against the Flyers. Mark Howe. He upended Robbie Brown. We're going to see the two best power play units here in the National Hockey League here tonight. You're going to see the number 1 unit with the turkey on the table in a moment, the Pens. No score, first period on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Mark Howe off for interference at 8:59, and Patricia Heyman, Pittsburgh, PA, is our contestant on the Stroh's power play contest.
Penguins first in the league on the power play at 27.3. The Flyers at 27.2. That's how close they are percentage-wise. Face-off Flyers in. The Penguins on a power play. Bork and Coffey take the points. The Flyers clear, though, and they are 8th in the NHL in penalty killing at 80.8%. Returning behind his own net is Paul Coffey, and what a stretch of games he has had. Coffey now the leading scoring defenseman of the National Hockey League. Blasted up on the Flyers in right to the hands of Hextall, and that's not a good play there, and he'll get it out off Coffey. You just can't play it to Hextall and behind that goal. He's just too tough with the puck. Now Bork around the near side, going to Brown. Brown's pass to Danny Quinn. Quinn out to Lemieux at the Flyer line. Good pass to Coffey. He'll break into the Flyers in. Trying to turn it over to Bork, but it hit a knee, and Cameron's right in center circle. Coffey tapping into the Flyers in. Brian Propp, a penalty killer, has the puck for the Flyers, and he'll just dump the puck back to Penguin territory. Returning is Bork. Time left on the penalty. Let's find that clock again if we can. We've got 1:08 to go. Here on the left side is Robbie Brown going to Quinn. Flyers ice. Quinn of Pittsburgh, left wing corner. Moving with the puck, going behind the net now. Looks for Lemieux. Lemieux has it near corner. They give him room, and that's a good sign for the Pens. Let's see if they can work with it. Coffey back to Lemieux. Will he shoot it? No. He goes to Coffey again. Over to challenges Smith. Going back to Lemieux is Coffey. Lemieux right wing circle. Around the net going to Quinn. Back to Lemieux. Slap shot. Glove by Hextall, and he has it again. That appeared to be headed off the net. But Hextall with that big paw reached up. He is seeing the game very well tonight. You know, they talk about us. They asked us about it before the game. The streak. 39-3 for the Penguins. But, you know, one of the key things, and I mentioned to you before the thing, we have seen some unbelievable goaltending by the Flyers over the years in this building against the Penguins. I mean, it has been spectacular, starting with Bernie Perrant, and you go back through Pelle Lindbergh, Bob Froese, who was unbeaten against the Penguins, as you remember, for so many games, while a member of the Flyers, and now Hextall. Now, that's added to it.
Well, the fact is that the Flyers find good goaltenders, probably better than any team in hockey. They had a tragic death of Pelle Lindbergh, and they immediately inserted Ronnie Hextall into the lineup, who became one of the best goaltenders in the league in his first season.
Cullen to Lemieux, right point to Phil Bork of the Penguins. On the power play of the Pens, put him behind the net. Hextall leaves it for Jeff Chikrin, and Chikrin will find that opening and bounce it all the way to the Penguin zone. 33 to go in the penalty. Coffey's back to take it, and Coffey now with 70 points on the year, going to the Flyer line. Can't get in. Cullen was offside. Lemieux looks for the puck, and he gets it from Coffey down the left wing to John Cullen. Chikrin rides him into the boards, knocks him off his skates. Lemieux goes behind the net to Robbie Brown. Brown, the fifth getting scored in front of Cullen. He shoots and scores. John Cullen knocks it in. The Penguins take a 1-0 lead. Oh, look out, Loretta. John Cullen will get the goal, and Robbie Brown set him up so beautifully in front, and the Penguins get a goal to make it 1-0.
A power play goal. Robbie Brown came out from behind the net. Lemieux made the play. Wells fell down behind the goal, and that gave the Penguins a little bit of room, and Brown put it over to Cullen. Wells was not back in the play. Cullen cut in front of him and was able to get to that puck before Wells could get back in position to cut him off, cutting back in front of the crease. Two Penguins behind the net. Robbie Brown made the pass to Cullen, who made a pretty play. Chikrin came over to meet Brown, went down to try to block the centering pass, failed in that endeavor, and then Cullen found the open net behind Hextall.
I don't know hit Cullen on the boards, but what a big play by Cullen to get back up after being decked on the boards. If you remember the play, knocked down, got himself back up, went right back to the net, and so the Penguins get a power play goal by Cullen at 10:45 and lead 1-0. Brian Propp cruising back into the Penguins in. Right point to Jeff Chikrin. Slap shot blocked by Bukestad, and Bukestad coming back to center. He is out here with Frawley on the wings for the Penguins with Dave Hannon at center. Bukestad, who did not play in the last two games and has moved up ahead by Dave Hannon, trickled into the Flyer zone. Carkner will take the puck, giving it now to Jeff Chikrin at center circle, and Chikrin lays it softly to the Penguin zone. After it'll be Dan Frawley. He's challenged, and Dykstra winding around the boards. Bukestad can't come up with it, and he lets it go all the way down to the Flyers zone. Gordon Murphy returns with 8:22 to go in the first period. The Penguins won, the Flyers nothing. Mike Bullard. And the Bullet sets up shot behind his own net. Coming to the right of the goal. Relay it to Karkner. Now an outlet pass going to Scott Melleby. Beat Ganin on the play. Coming to the Penguins end. Put it in front. It goes right to the net. And Wendell Young with the leg save. Off the right side it comes to Gord Murphy. Swinging in front center. Slot area for Derek Smith. And a turning shot missed the mark. Dahlquist knocked down Mike Bullard. Play continues. And the puck is pushed by Pittsburgh deep into Flyers real estate. Gord Murphy back to handle it. Caulfield on now for the Penguins with Loney and Lemieux double shifting. Takes center ice. Outlet pass to center. And Derek Smith rammed to the boards by Philadelphia native Jay Caulfield. Puck moved back into Flyers ice. Jay Wells. He'll step up. That might be an icing call against the Flyers. Over to Melleby, though. He got it. He pinned on the shot. And the Flyers will not keep possession. Lemieux, sharp pass right wing to Robbie Brown. He's into the Flyers in. Cuts the right side. Shoots it. Missing the net on the far side. On the stick-hand side of Hextall, it comes all the way back to center. Robbie Brown's had a very strong first period for the Pens. Coffey. Dump it back in behind the Flyer goal. Will this be an icing call against the Penguins? Yes, it will. 7:09 left here in the first period. The Penguins won. The Flyers nothing on the Penguins Hockey Network. Only goal of this hockey game by John Cullen of Pittsburgh, his 10th of the year from Lemieux and Brown at 10:45 of this first period.
And 8 of 10 goals by John Cullen this year have come on the power play, Mike. He's gotten rich on the power play. The Penguins have so many guys who are capable of scoring on the power play, and that's why they lead the league in that department.
And really with a limited amount of ice time on the power play. A little bit early he had quite a bit, but really tailed off. He comes out late on the shift, and he's been able to score some goals. Ron Sutter of the Penguins in behind the net, centers it. Wendell Young, and on the doorstep, Hillier got a piece of it too. A penalty coming up here. Let's see who it's going to be against. The Flyers go back, and it's going to be against Philadelphia. A cross-checking call. Hillier was decked in front of the net. And a cross-checking minor here coming up against Rick Tocchet of the Philadelphia Flyers. And the Flyers, who watched the Penguins take an early 1-0 lead on a power play goal, now will be shorthanded one more time.
Flyers number 22, Rick Tocchet, 2 minutes for cross-checking.
You know, in games past here, and please forgive me for saying this, situations like this where the Penguins have a 1-0 lead, they seem to have the momentum going, and all of a sudden the Flyers, the way that the streak has gone, boom, turns around into maybe a shorthanded goal in this situation. And you just got to be very careful here, because this is what the Flyers really thrive on. They get the crowd behind them, and they try and turn the game around. Penguins will be trying to up it to 2-0 here, but they've got to be careful, and they've given up 13 shorthanded goals on the year. Now every play you start looking here in this building, you start saying, well, what could happen? What's the possibility?
Ronnie Sutter working hard behind the net, tried to jam one in on Wendell Young. He made the save, and then Hillier was decked in front of the goal. Tocchet sits down for cross-checking at 13:15, and another Stroh's power play for the Pens.
Yeah, let's get some turkey going. Top of the circle, Flyers in. And Ron Sutter has it. He and Dave Poulin, the penalty killer. Sutter's going to come off now, and Brian Propp will come over the boards for Philadelphia. Coffey and Bourque. Penguins playing with a good deal of confidence right now. Looks strong. Here's Coffey going to the Flyers line. He'll break in, shoot it to the net. Hextall stopped that. The rebound, golfed at by Samuelson, and up ahead for Brian Propp. 2-on-2 back with Poulin. Propp on the right wing, going to the Penguins in, down the slot. Here he comes. Look out, his shot, and a kick leg save made by Wendell Young. Lemieux gives it back to Coffey. Coffey on the move, looks right wing to Robbie Brown. Brown moves his way to the Flyers in. He's up in it by Brian Propp. Philadelphia's Poulin takes it, plays it off the glass, and it takes the right bounce for Philadelphia. Goes back to the Penguin line. 1:18 to go on the penalty to Tocchet. Pass for Bourque. By Bourque, knocked away. Bourque gets it now to Lemieux, left side. Wind up behind the Flyers net. Hextall can't handle this one, but Mark Howe comes over. Can he clear? He can't. Quinn kept it alive. Back in the corner. Brian Propp, that's where you want to work it. Away from Hextall if you can. To the right point it comes to Bourque. Can he keep it in? At the blue line, makes a nice play to do so. To Quinn. Back to Bourque, and it went right by. I don't think Bourque expected it back. Penguins trying to change it up now a little bit. Coffey with a giveaway inside the Flyer line to Samuelson, and he'll kill some valuable time there. He shoots it up ice with 45 seconds to go in the Philadelphia penalty. 1-0 Pittsburgh, first period. Cullen comes out here for the Pen. Cullen going to the Flyers in. Dish it off right wing. That's way too far for Robbie Brown, and Pelly Eklund steers it back to center, and Derek Smith put it to the Penguin line. Coffey stops the play. Good stick high by the Penguin blue liner. Left line wing to Cullen, going to Lemieux. Cross rink to Brown, now to Coffey. Coffey of Pittsburgh. At the right point, they challenge him. Goes to Jimmy Johnson. The near corner to Robbie Brown. Around the net. Trying to go to Cullen. He's up in it by Chikrin. Flyers have it. They bounce it up right point. Johnson comes over. He has to try and hold it in. Played away from him. Here's Pelly Eklund trying to beat Brown. And move right back into the Flyers in. Chikrin with 8 seconds to go on the Philadelphia penalty. Clears right to Coffey's stick, however, at center. Oh, he misfired that pass. And here's Karkner one-on-one against Jim Johnson. Karkner to the Penguins in. Comes down right side. Move it in. Johnson pulled him down. There'll be no penalty, and the net is upended. Now a penalty will be called. McCreary was not going to call a penalty originally, but he calls a cross-checking minor now against the Penguins. He was not going to make a call, I don't think. But now a cross-checking minor against the Pens. The Flyers have killed it. They go on the power play. 1-0 Pittsburgh on the Penguins Hockey Network. Penalty goes against the Penguins. Scott Bukestad, not Jimmy Johnson, and Bukestad knocking down Ron Sutter. And so the Penguins will be shorthanded. So right after the Flyers kill the penalty to Tocchet, the penalty issued to the Penguins.
Actually, it was Cullen who cross-checked him, but Bukestad took the penalty. Bukestad's hip was into Ron Sutter, and he was falling down.
Flyer power play with Mike Bullard, Scott Mellamy, and Rick Tocchet up front. Appointment will be Gord Murphy and Mark Howe, and the Penguins steer it up into the Flyers zone. Troy Loney out here for the Penguins right now, and Dave Hannon. He left a stick on the ice at the Penguin bench. Here are the Flyers cutting back with the Penguins in. Mike Bullard moves around a man, but he's going to force an offside play against the Flyers. Well, Mike Bullard's put up some pretty good numbers for the Flyers here since coming over from the St. Louis Blues.
The Flyers have put up some pretty good numbers with Bullard in the lineup. They're 17-7-2 since they made the trade, and Bullard's had a point in 19 of the 26 games during the span. He has 13 goals, 29 points, a +6 since coming over to Philadelphia.
We said the Flyers are number 2 in the power play. Penguins are 16th in penalty killing in the NHL. Penguins have scored a league-leading 83 power play goals. Mark Howe handles the biscuit now as the Flyers try and get in. Hannon and Loney, and Hannon takes it away, played it outside the blue line. Mellenby has to wait for his mates to get onside, and now it's turned back to the Flyer line. 4:10 to go in the period. Penguins 1, Flyers nothing. Howe lifted right wing boards deep into the Penguin zone. From behind the net, Steve Dykstra. Mellenby challenges him, has the battle won there for a moment. Goes to the left of Wendell Young, take it to the right wing corner. Scott Mellenby of Philadelphia. Right wing boards halfway up. Left point pass. It's hard. It's Howe, though. Left side holding it in. Shoot it towards the net. That's blocked. Bouncing puck still loose. Penguin zone. Gord Murphy has it. Right side to Mike Bullard. Boy with that bright red stick comes in. A slap shot. Never got to the net. Dykstra blocked it. And Hannon off the right boards. Fires it away off the sideboards down to the Philadelphia zone. Look at Hextall come out, acting like a defenseman to move it ahead, but Howe will take it. He captures the puck going to the Penguin line. Howe right side to Gord Murphy in the Penguin territory. Right wing boards. Murphy throw it in behind the Penguin net. Tim Kerr chases after. Comes all the way around the near side with the puck. Tim Kerr around the net to Mellenby. Cuts in. Can't shoot it. It was partially deflected by Young, I think, who got his stick down to knock it away, and the Penguins do clear. 28 seconds to go in the penalty. Kerr with 18 power play goals on the year. Bobby Brown leads the NHL. Eklund has a step on Dahlquist, one-legged into the Penguins in front to Kerr. A shot, and Young made a big save on Tim Kerr there. Now Karkner, left side of the Penguins in. Karkner wheel and deal, right side to Eklund. He's got a man open. Kerr, and he couldn't pull the trigger. Hillier got his stick in. Lemieux slides it ahead for Hillier. 2-on-1 develops. Here he bursting back, make it 2-on-2 as Murphy got back in the play. Hillier trying to feed it to the net, and the play goes to the goal area on the ice. Bukestad comes over. The Penguins have killed the penalty. So the Flyers are 0 for 1 on the power play. And here's Philadelphia lofting that puck down to the Penguin zone. Jimmy Johnson returns near corner. Bumped hard by Brian Propp. Dykstra, though, takes the disc and feeds it ahead to Robbie Brown. He looks for Lemieux, and the Flyers are going to get it outside the line. And as they trickled across the blue line, and we'll get an offside play against Philadelphia. Penguins 1, Flyers nothing. First period on the Penguins Hockey Network. Penguins with a 1-0 lead over the Flyers here in the first period. 2 minutes and 20 seconds left. Got the Penguins down with 5 shots, the Flyers with 10, but really not indicative of the way the period has gone. The Penguins have had really the better of the chances against the Flyers. Montreal leads Quebec now 2-0 first period. The Islanders in Toronto scoreless in the first at New York.
Coming into this game, the Flyers were 30 for 95 in their last 24 games on the power play, clicking at over 30%, 31.6%. So that much more impressive. The Penguins were able to kill it off there with a 1-0 lead. And Wendell Young made a big save on Tim Kerr. He looked sharp in warm-ups today, and he looks sharp here in this game.
Jimmy Johnson just lofted one to the Flyers net. That's stopped by Hextall off his stick. And John Cullen now throws it back into the near corner. So Cullen comes out here with Robbie Brown and Phil Bourque. A little different look for the Penguins and coach Gene Ubriaco. Craig Berube storming back for the Flyers, however, and he'll drill it to the right wing corner of the Penguins in. Off the boards, Steve Dykstra. Defensively trying to work it out. It comes to Cullen here with the Penguins bursting back 3-on-3. Left wing, it'll be Bourque. Bourque now drop pass to Cullen. Cullen looks for Jimmy Johnson in deep. Cullen takes the shot himself, and Hextall got a piece of it around the net. Bourque trying to stuff it in. It's a one in. Phil Bourque gets the goal, and the Penguins make it 2-0. Oh, you ain't nothing but a hound dog. Bourque came from behind the net and snapped it right in by Hextall. Got a piece of it, and the Penguins take a 2-0 lead.
Well, John Cullen took himself to a very sharp angle. He's got a hard shot that hit something. I think it hit Bork in front of the net. Bork got it right off the carom off his own body and then brought it around the net, and Hextall just did not get back in time. Bork good at jamming that puck in on the post when he tries that tuck in.
He'll go to the net. There's no question about that. I think the shot hit Hextall's right shoulder, Paul. Cullen took it. I'm not sure. And there's the Chikrin was there also, the defenseman, and then Bork came around. And he did the rest.
Bork rather excited.
18-19 the time of the goal. Why not?
Well, the Penguins had a 2-0 lead in here last time they played the Flyers. Flyers came back, but Pens are really playing well here in the first period.
Here's Samuelson trying to get into the Penguins in. He can't do it. Mark Howe. So Bork from Cullen, and Cullen's been the offensive hero so far with an assist and a goal. Coffey takes it from his own territory out to Loney, and he had it checked aside. Back along the near boards. The Flyers really are not forechecking the Penguins with the authority we've seen them in past games here in this building. However, it is early, believe me. On the near corner, going for it is Pelly Eklund. Eklund of Philadelphia handles a biscuit. He'll give it now to Mark Howe. Howe's pass off the body of Dan Quinn, and Rick Tocchet drills it up the sideboards down in behind the Penguin net. So goals by John Cullen and Phil Bork. Bork is 15th. Flyers take it away in front. Here's Ron Sutter with a backhand shot. He scores. Ron Sutter beats Wendell Young. Penguins arguing with referee Bill McCreary about something.
Well, that's the second time in a week that Paul Coffey has been pulled down in a situation where a goal resulted from it. And unfortunately, the call wasn't made, but also unfortunately, Coffey sat there and waited for a call that was never made. Coffey should have gotten back up and gotten back into the play. Ronnie Sutter just walked to the net, and Hillier went down to try to block the shot, and Wendell Young never saw the shot, I don't think, anyway. And Sutter was able to score the goal to make it 2-1. But Coffey was pulled down, but Ronnie Hextall looked at McCreary on the last shift up ice for the Penguins when Chris Dahlquist took one of the Flyers into the boards, wrapped his arm around him, and just kind of tackled him into the boards. And Hextall looked over at McCreary for a penalty. Nothing was called. They came up the other end. The same exact thing happened. Coffey pulled down. Nothing called, but a goal resulted for the Flyers.
The backhand shot by Ron Sutter, his 18th of the year, gives the Flyers a late first period goal. Now Philadelphia directs it up in behind the Penguin net. Gordon Samuelson, who knocked down Coffey, gets an assist along with Rick Tocchet. So we've got a 2-1 game now, and here's Dave Hannon of Pittsburgh, dropping the puck off the right wing boards into the Flyers zone. Returning to take command of it will be Gord Murphy. Murphy's pass to Dave Poulin. Relay it to Brian Propp of Philadelphia. Right wing to Kerr, back to Propp in the slot, and off his stick. Penguins challenge him behind their own net. Bob Airy out here. Airy working with Hannon and Bork. Put it right in front, and Hannon will take it off the doorstep. 22 to go in the period. And Hannon comes to center red. He'll slip it into the Flyers' blue line area. Gord Murphy takes it with 14 to go in the period. Murphy to the Penguins end. He's trying to get a step on Dahlquist. Goes in deep. Got a man in front. Curry's right there. Deflected right in off Lemieux to Wendell Young, and he holds it. Now Lemieux playing as a defenseman there, coming back to try and cover his own zone as big Tim Kerr was in front of that net looking to be the trigger man as Gord Murphy went in deep. Just 7 seconds left.
Dahlquist went down to block the centering pass by Murphy rather than taking the man. He kind of hung back a little bit, and Murphy was able to thread that puck past Dahlquist out in front, and Kerr just got a piece of it and it almost went in the net. Wendell Young, with a good glove hand, able to reach out and grab that puck. His reflexes are pretty sharp here.
Michel Goulet has scored for the Nordiques. The Montreal Canadiens lead 2-1 in the first period at Quebec. Still no score. The Islanders and Toronto on the U.S. Air scoreboard. And here we've got a 2-1 Penguin lead. Late in period number 1. Ron Sutter will try and win the faceoff here. They've got Tocchet out here working the right point. They're going to bring Chikrin in to work the circle or not. They're looking for some instructions from Paul Holmgren, the coach. And they're not sure what they want to do to set it up here. They've got to cover a man, and they will do that. Chikrin comes over to cover Loney. Drop of the puck. Penguins will win the faceoff, and that will end the period with the Penguins leading here in Philadelphia. We've played one. Goals by John Cullen and Phil Bork gave the Penguins a 2-0 lead. A late goal by Ron Sutter got the Flyers on the board. And the shots on goal in that department, the Penguins had 7 in the period, and the Flyers finished with a dozen. We've played one, the Penguins 2, and the Flyers 1 on the Penguins Hockey Network. Penguins lead the Flyers 2-1 at the end of the first period, and the scoring in the opening frame, John Cullen, the opening goal at 10:45. Bork then connected at 18:19, and Ron Sutter, his 18th of the year, with only 57 seconds to go in the period, and the Penguins have a 2-1 lead. The shots on goal in the period, the Flyers outshot the Penguins 12-7, but the Penguins had a number of good scoring chances. Lemieux with 3 of them. Dave Hannon with a great opportunity on goaltender Ron Hextall. And frankly, they probably should be up more than they are in this 2-1 game. So far, we've showed you what the penalties are and what icing and offsides are. But there are other reasons the whistle blows to stop action in a hockey game, and that is our topic tonight.
Tonight in our continuing series on the rules and basics of hockey, we're going to deal with the many ways in which there can be a stoppage in play. The most common reasons for a stoppage are penalties and other infractions, such as icing, offsides, the net being knocked off its magnets, high sticks on the puck, or hand passes. Here are some other reasons why the referee or linesman might blow the whistle to stop play. A frozen puck. Now remember, a frozen puck is one that is no longer visible to the referee. A puck can be frozen along the boards, against the side of the goal cage, by the goalie in the crease, or by a player who has fallen on top of the puck. Now remember, a player other than the goaltender may not pull the puck underneath his body to stop play. If so, the referee will assess a 2-minute delay of game penalty. And if a player other than the goaltender covers the puck in the goal crease, the opposing team is awarded a penalty shot. In the last couple of seasons, NHL referees have been instructed to keep play moving as much as possible. If a player or players are in a position to freeze the puck, the referee will command them to play on. The continuous flow of the action is what makes NHL hockey so much fun to watch. A stoppage in play also occurs when the puck is shot into the stands, the player's bench, or the penalty bench. In these situations, the location of the ensuing face-off is determined by whom and where the puck is last touched. In fact, face-offs and the various lines and circles on an NHL rink will be the topic of our next installment on the rules and basics of hockey.
Up in high school, which is in Lansdale, Pennsylvania. I went out to junior college in Minnesota, Hibbing Junior College, and from there I got a scholarship to North Dakota, and that's where I ended up playing hockey.
Jay, you really didn't get involved in hockey until pretty late in your life, did you?
I started in high school. We had a high school team, and that's where it started, and played a few years there, and then I really didn't know what hockey was about until I went out to the Midwest.
Did you have a natural tendency or ability to play the game? Is that why you you moved towards it, you think?
I don't know. I think I just kept working, and there's a lot of guys here that help you along, and that's what really makes a big difference.
When you played, of course, football at North Dakota, you had some problems with an injury, I guess, that ended your possibility for a football career that would go beyond that. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, what I had was I had bone spurs in my spine, and it was causing problems every time I made contact with somebody, and the doctors felt that during my senior year that it was getting too bad, that they made me stop playing, and that's how I just kind of slid into hockey.
The Pittsburgh Penguins have to be very pleased with your addition this year. Were you surprised in the fact that they picked you up in the waiver draft prior to the start of the season?
Yeah, I really didn't know. You know, it was a surprise to me. I was just, it was a good move for me to get out of Minnesota, and I was just glad to be a part of a team like this right now, and hopefully just keep moving along.
All right, what about your play, way it's come along this year? Are you happy with what's transpired, or can you work on some things to improve yourself?
I think there's a lot of things I can work on, but I think every day I try and do the basics. For me, fundamentals is what I have to work on every day, and I put as much time as that as I can. And like I said, with guys that help you out all the time with information, and little tidbits here and there, and hopefully it'll make a difference. And if I get ice time, I try and do the most with it every time I get out there.
Well, certainly your strong point would have to be the checking part of it and trying to create things happening on the ice with your size.
Yeah, that's kind of, when I get out there, like I said, I have to take the body all over the ice without getting penalties, try and get...
Not easy at 6'4", your weight.
So I got to watch that, but that's really what I have to do. I have to go out there and take the body and really keep them off the board, too, play good defense and just move the puck out and let the other guys do the work. They're the guys that are really skilled, and I'll just follow up.
Quickly, Jay, you've got a brother here who owns a tavern here, and I guess they pick up a lot of our games on satellite.
Oh, yeah, he gets all the games on satellite, and he has the whole bar there. So whenever I score a goal, which hasn't been too often, he buys the bar around. So I don't know, but hopefully they're all coming down here tonight. And if we ever had some time, get all the guys out there, but schedule doesn't permit it. But they're all for us, and we got a whole town there in Westchester that's rooting for us.
You get a goal tonight, they can buy Sam and his dog one too from me. All right,
you got it. All right.
Jay Caulfield's been our special guest. We'll be back with more from the Spectrum in just a moment on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Welcome back to the Spectrum. Lead the Flyers 2-1 on goals by John Cullen and Phil Bourque. Enter the Augie's Flower Shop Penguins shutout period. During each telecast, a contestant will win a beautiful arrangement of flowers if the Penguins shut out their opponent during the second period of a KBL game. Enter the Augie's Penguins shutout period by sending your name and address to Augie's Penguins shutout period, care of KBL, 294 West Steuben Street, Pittsburgh, 15205. If the Penguins shut out the Flyers tonight during the second period, Renee Farrow of Stanton Heights will win a beautiful arrangement of flowers, compliments of Augie's Flower and Gift Shop. And here are the locations: 800 Main Street, Sharpsburg, 625 Liberty Avenue downtown, and 10900 Perry Highway in the North Hills.
By the way, Mr. KBL is here tonight.
That's right.
Gil Lucas is here to take this one in.
The General. Is that what you call him? The General?
Colonel.
The Colonel. Colonel Cable.
The Colonel. 2-1 Pittsburgh on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Opportunities in that first period, ended up with 2 goals as Paul Coffey had set up Mario Lemieux on a play that came right in on goaltender Ron Hextall, but Hextall robbed Lemieux.
Lemieux tried to pick the upper corner on Hextall, and I don't know that he got the shot up as high as he wanted to get it. It was more almost glove level, and Hextall was able to make the glove save. John Cullen scoring the first goal for the Pens on a power play. Lemieux made the play in the corner with Jay Wells. He hit Jay Wells and caught him off balance. Wells went down. The puck popped over to Robbie Brown, who slid it across to Cullen going to the net, and Hextall had it going behind him. It was 1-0 Penguins. And Bourque made it 2-0 Penguins before Ronnie Sutter came back to make it 2-1. Back to live action.
All right, we're back to play in period number 2. The Penguins have a 2-1 lead, and Robbie Brown banks it ahead back with the Flyers in. The Penguins moving right to left here. Brown out with Bob Airy and Robbie Brown. So Airy comes back and plays on the left side. But a pass finds Rick Tocchet alone at center for the Flyers. For the Penguin line, a long slap shot off Coffey's stick and stopped by Young. Penguin goaltender Tocchet put a bad angle shot on and made that save, and now Young has to gather it in and hold on.
Boy, it's a good thing Wendell Young didn't leave the post there, because the puck, he probably thought for a second that the puck was behind the net. And Bob Airy pushed it back towards the skate of Wendell Young, but fortunately he still had his skate pinned up against the post and was able to freeze it there.
We did not have a lot of penalties in the first period. The Penguins had 2 power play chances going 1 for 2. The Flyers 0 for 1. But in the period, the Penguins had 15 body checks against the Flyers. The Flyers had 18. And you can play rough and tough hockey. You can, and solidly, without all the fighting involved in it. Penguins had 11 giveaways. The Flyers 8. The Flyers won in faceoffs 10-7. That's been something they've been really lacking in, we've been told, lately. But they had the advantage in the first period. Here's Lemieux against Ron Sutter. Right wing circle, Penguins in. And Sutter has the puck from the faceoff. Whack it in behind the net. It goes to Eklund. Around to the left point to Mark Howe. Flyers trail by 1. They put it in front, and right there was Sutter, but he couldn't get a stick on it to deflect it home. Near corner, Coffey. Lead pass for Lemieux. And it'll sail all the way up to the Flyers in. A live puck off one of the Flyers. It goes to Samuelson as he's set up by Ron Hextall. Samuelson cuts to the right of his own goal. Soft little pass to Mark Howe, his defense partner. An outlet now to center circle to Pelle Eklund. Into Penguin ice, going to Tocchet. Rick Tocchet to Philadelphia, shoots it on, and the stick save made by Young. The rebound in front, knocked aside by Paul Coffey. And Mario Lemieux gathers the puck in, going to Coffey. Left wing to Bob Airy, a slap shot off Hextall's stick, and out from the red seats here behind the Philadelphia net.
This broadcast is intended for the private use of our viewing audience. Any rebroadcast, reproduction, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Civic Arena Corporation and the Pittsburgh Penguins is prohibited.
The executive producer of Penguin Hockey, Bill Strong, and a group of folks are over here to view this one too, as Roy and Teresa Sork and Jim Agostino. Also one other group of folks, Don Revel, Bob Orquist, Eric, and Dan are here. See everybody back from Bloomfield, Lawrenceville, and everywhere. All right, they're viewing it. The Penguins have a 2-1 lead, and we're in the second period. Chychrun sails it ahead of the Penguin line. Knocked away. Here's Kerr trying to get a step on Dykstra. Slowed down by Danny Quinn. And the Penguins return into center red. Jeff Chychrun. Relay it to Carkner, to Chychrun again. Left wing pass to Dave Poulin. He's been unnoticed tonight so far. Right at the Penguin blue line, Dave Hannon whacked it away from him, and it comes down to Dan Quinn. Giving the puck to Hannon, back to Quinn. Slap shot, blocked by Chychrun's right leg, picked up by Quinn again in front. Got a man there. Hannon shoots it. Hextall made that save off Hannon from the right wing circle. Now in the right wing corner. Danny Quinn puts it behind the net. After it is Hannon. He's belted hard by Dave Poulin. Loney in digging against Carkner.
Loney trying to work the corners. Prop feeds it over now to Karkner of Philadelphia. And the Flyer defenseman got it up to Kerr, but he's checked on the play in his own end by Cullen. Turns and wheels it back to center now to Brian Prop. Lead pass to Dave Poulin. Off the left wing boards, the big Tim Kerr. Kerr slides it in behind the Penguin net. It'll be stopped by Wendell Young. The Flyers trying to make a line change here and get Buller's line out. Penguins Jimmy Johnson. Backdoor it for Steve Dykstra around the right wing, and it goes too far for Jay Caulfield. Cullen out here for the Penguins with Caulfield and Phil Bourque. Bourque on the left wing, Caulfield on the right side. Flyers set up from their own end. Here's a lead pass to Mike Bullard. Bullard going to the Penguin line, fakes a shot on Dahlquist, now gives it off to Derek Smith, right wing circle. Shoots it off a stick, and it deflects wide of the Penguin cage, and Cullen gathers the puck in, takes command of it. Up for Caulfield, who banks it up into the Flyers in, and Hextall stops to the right of his own goal. Back around for Scott Bellamy, the Flyers right winger. 17:07 to go in the second period. 2-1 the Penguins lead. Bellamy going to the Penguins in. Drop pass for Bullard, comes down the slot, trying to weave through everybody, and he can't do that. Now Bourque returns. Bourque of Pittsburgh going to Cullen. He's been on both goals so far tonight for the Pens. Takes a little snapshot that's partially deflected. He'll come to the bench, and the Penguins try and get Lemieux out here. A steal by Robbie Brown. A shot, and Hextall made a big save on Robbie Brown. Brown centers for Bob Airy. Knocked away. Lemieux's right there. Fakes a shot. Now lets it go. A save made. Rebound. And Hextall again covers it up. Hextall covered up. The Penguins argued that they put it in. The linesman is right there. Robbie Brown. And Mike Bullard in around that net also. Robbie Brown thought it was a goal. But Hextall scrambling in around that goal, stopping the Pens as McQuarrie viewed the play. And I don't think the Penguins will get credit for a goal here. The judge never turned the line on. McQuarrie looking and talking to Robbie Brown. Brown just turns and skates away. Boy, the Penguins really had some great chances there to up the lead to 2. We'll be back in a moment. 2-1 Penguins on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Well, Mario Lemieux with a great chance on Hextall. He hung on to the puck for an eternity, and then finally the rebound came out to Bob Airy, and he just could not jam the puck past Ronnie Hextall. Is really hanging tough.
Here's a pass down to center for Ron Sutter, and it'll be called back in a 2-line pass against the Flyers with 16:28 to go in the second period. Again, go ahead, Paul.
Lemieux likes to get Hextall to chase a little bit, Mike, and he hung on to that puck for a long time in the slot, waiting for Hextall to make that move. Sometimes Hextall will do that against Mario and start getting those feet moving a little bit and get caught in a situation where Mario can blow the puck past him. But Hextall has showed a tremendous amount of patience tonight, too. He's hanging right in there, and he's not moving around too much. He's not making the first move. He's just waiting for that shot, and he's able to make the saves as a result.
Penguins have the Blues at home tomorrow night at the Civic Arena. Blues lead Buffalo 2-1 at St. Louis in the first period. Here's the play into the Flyers in. Robbie Brown trying to center. Cut off by Mark Howe, and the Flyer defenseman turn it over to Ron Sutter. Breaking back into the Penguins in to Eklund, left wing. Penguin zone. Wrist shot up high. Stopped by Young. Knocked it down to Randy Hillier of Pittsburgh. Tried to clear the zone. Couldn't. He'll get a second crack, and he'll skate it out now. Lead pass to Mario Lemieux to the Flyers in. Comes down the slot with a backhand shot. That'll miss the target off the right wing corner. Robbie Brown in using those hips against Pelle Eklund. Samuelson comes over. Lemieux stalks in, but Samuelson cuts away from the check and feeds to Ron Sutter. Drop pass to Pelle Eklund of Philadelphia. Cuts to the off wing right side. With the Penguins in, the Flyers are offside, coming to Penguin territory.
Mark Howe has not played as well as he's capable of playing recently, and I think the reason for that, more than anything, would probably be the fact that he's been bothered by injuries all year. He's had a bad groin pull. He has a foot problem that just he's going to have to live with. One time earlier in the year when the Flyers were in Pittsburgh, they had the Penguins doctors take a look at him and x-ray his foot, and they were looking at it. And it's just one of those things that Howe's going to have to play with the rest of his career.
Toronto Maple Leafs at New York lead the Islanders 1-0 first period. And here is Dave Poulin out with Tim Kerr and Brian Prop. And Poulin returns to his own blue line off the face-off to take control of the puck. Danny Quinn out for the Pens with Dave Hannon and Troy Loney. Penguins have occasionally used a fourth line tonight, but not too often. And the puck is flipped to the Flyer net. Jeff Chikrin defensively for the Flyers. Knocked it back to center. Danny Quinn of Pittsburgh takes control of it. Quinn skates to his own blue line now, looking for open space. Karkner cut him off. They lost control of it. Here are the Flyers counterattacking, going to the Penguins in. Prop on the right wing. Brian Prop centered in front, and Dykstra cut that off in front of the net. 2-1 the Penguins lead here in the second period. Dykstra lofted it all the way the length of the ice, and Hextall is going to come out of his net to take control of it. Oh, dangerous play there. It hit Karkner's stick, now taken away by Hannon. Here's Quinn. Quinn now going to Loney. Loney comes in, a shot right on, and Hextall got a glove on that on Loney's big blistering shot. Boy, that one almost went in, but Hextall with a late save there. Just got that glove up at the last second. Prop into the Penguin zone. Cuts down the slot. Penguins break it up again. Loney takes control of it. Loney's outlet pass to Jim Johnson. Going to the Flyers end on the right side. Just couldn't quite get by Poulin. And the Flyers go the other way. Prop giving the disc now to Kerr. Breaks down on Cullen. He's got more size. He centers it. Jim Johnson pulled down one of the Flyers. There'll be a penalty coming up against the Penguin defenseman. Penguins have to gain possession. And a hooking call against Pittsburgh. 2-1, the Penguins lead. Second period on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Well, John Cullen was playing defense on Tim Kerr, and that's not an easy task. He tried to slow him down, and I think Jimmy Johnson became concerned that Kerr was going to beat Cullen and maybe make a play in front, and Johnson hauled down one of the Flyers, hooking the call at 5:35. Second power play chance for Philadelphia.
2-1, the Penguins lead. Right point, Penguins in. Gordon Murphy to Mike Buller, left side of Mark Howe. Comes in, a slap shot blocked by Bob Airy, who gave his body up, and Lemieux clears the puck off the board. Now the Penguins have had at least 3 good scoring chances against Ron Hextall in this second period also. But he's come up tough. Bob Airy, Lemieux, and Loney. All good scoring chances. Here were the Flyers again, cruising back into Penguin ice. Scott Mellenby. Oh, as he decked on the boards by Randy Hillier, who crunched him with a bone-crunching check. Along the near side, Penguin territory. Flipped around the net, and Wendell Young's going to scoop it up off the ice and hold on. Boy, Hillier really decked Mellenby with a hard check. And Mellenby took that check and came right back. And again, another sign of a player you got to respect, because Mellenby can throw him out like it's the first of the month, too. And Randy Hillier really got him kind of leaning the wrong way and got all of the body into him. What a hard check that was.
Hillier has that ability to throw a check. He's not the biggest, strongest guy in the world, but he knows how to deliver a check. The timing and the rhythm of it is just so key, and Hillier caught him at the right time. Mellenby, they say, is the most consistent hitter on this Flyers team. Him and Derek Smith are the top 2 hitters. Tocchet, of course, a very physical player, too, but he's not as consistent. Some nights he's just not there with the physical play as much as Mellenby and Derek Smith are. Now McCreary having a conversation on the far side.
The penalty clock has not started working on the Penguins. Penalty was issued at 5:35. We have about a minute and 23 seconds left in penalty time to Jimmy Johnson. Face-off will be in the Penguin zone. Face-off to the left of the Penguin net, and Wendell Young, Dave Hannon. Out for the Penguins against Tim Kerr. And a face-off won by the Flyers, and Gord Murphy wheels one right to the net, and that's stopped by Wendell Young.
And Tim Kerr right in the face of Wendell Young. Talked to Young before the game about guys to watch for on this team, and he was rather concerned about Timmy Kerr being around that net on the power play. Not so much because he knocks goaltenders around, but because he puts the puck in the net. Kerr went to the net, tried to slow himself up, and ran right into Wendell Young.
Unless I'm mistaken, the Penguins are going to break out of this. They get an extra 10 seconds killed off that penalty when they reset the clock. Should have been a minute 23. They put a minute 13 on the board. Here's Lemieux with the puck, and he'll play it back into the Flyers zone. I'd have to recalculate and look at it with the game, but it appears to me the Penguins killed 10 more seconds on that penalty, because the initial penalty was issued at 5:35. All right, back on the right wing. Here come the Flyers into the Penguins in. Howe is up in it now. Picked up in front by Kerr. A shot, and Wendell Young made a big save on Tim Kerr from 35 feet. Tim Kerr blasting that puck right to the net, and he's a great goal scorer. Great release, and Wendell Young read him all the way and made a big save on former teammate Tim Kerr.
And what was great about the play by Wendell Young is that he didn't flop to the ice. He stayed on his skates with great lateral movement, went over and took the net away from Tim Kerr. That shot was pretty high, too. If he'd have slid across, there's a good chance that puck would have gone upstairs on him. But he stayed on his skates and just went across, chopped across, and made the save on Tim Kerr. Young reacting very well tonight.
I'll tell you, that's his save of the game so far, and I'll tell you why, because the Flyers score there. They're back tied to 2 with a crowd behind them. We've talked about that momentum they can gather here, and they're in a situation here where they're trying to do it. Now they've reset the clock, and I'll tell you exactly what I talked about. They made a mistake. They should have an extra 10 seconds in penalty time. I was right. And they've gone over now to discuss that. They put the wrong time. Now with the situation here, should be 44 seconds left now, and that's what they put up on the board. 54.
Thursday, February 9th, when the Penguins play the Nordiques, it's Harrah's Desk Clock night. Fans 21 and over receive a Lucite Desk Clock compliments of Harrah's Marina and Casino down the road in Atlantic City. That's Thursday, February 9th. Penguins against Quebec. Tickets available at all choice seat outlets in the Civic Arena Gate 1, or charge tickets by phone 333-SEAT, the number to call.
Well, now it's evened up. The Flyers get the 10 seconds back. 54 seconds to go in the Jim Johnson penalty. Left side of Howe, a slap shot. Deflected, hit the glass behind goaltender Young, and moved off the boards around to the near side up into the Flyer bench. Gordon Murphy and Bob Airy have some words, and Lemieux steps in front of both men.
Well, this game has been very quiet in the physical department. Not much unlike the game we saw here last time, when every tough guy on the ice was going at it, and there were a lot of players who got some early showers, and I think that's really a better way for the Penguins to approach it here.
Well,
no sense waking them up. Getting the fans involved.
It has been from that standpoint, but I think it's been a pretty physical game from a hitting standpoint.
Well, from hitting, but I'm talking about the rough stuff, the cheap stuff, dirty stuff.
Lemieux and Kerr match it up. 13-12 to go in the period. We're in the second. The Penguins lead 2-1. And back it goes into Philadelphia territory. With the puck will be Pelle Eklund. 40 seconds to go on the penalty. Here's Howe. Stripped of the puck by Lemieux, and Lemieux down the right side. Howe to beat, trying to get in. He wards him off with a great check. Moves in on Hextall. Trying to shoot it. He hit the post. Rebound. Bob Airy scores the short-handed goal. And the Penguins lead 3-1. Oh, I'll be cow-kicked. The Penguins get a short-handed goal, and you watch Lemieux cutting in. He's down on the ice, but he got the shot off the post, and Airy put the rebound in.
Lemieux a little bit shaken up, I believe, in the corner. Gordon Murphy took him into the corner after he tried to get the shot back against Hextall. Again, he tried and waited for Hextall to chase. Hextall came out and poke-checked him, and I think he did get a piece of the stick of Lemieux. Made it more difficult for him to turn it over. He threw it back to the net, hit the post, it came out. Bob Airy trailing the play, put it in. Hextall came out and tried to make the first move on Lemieux, who just shook Mark Howe off like a gnat. He got rid of him, and then he got rid of the puck, and Airy put it in.
Well, Hextall did everything he possibly could. He really did. Mark Howe is gone. He's gone to the Flyer dressing room. He got hurt in that play. You can't be too happy about that situation. Viewing him as he went in. So the Penguins get a shorthanded goal. Bob Airy scores it. And Lemieux just fighting him off. And still had the presence to get that shot off the post, and Bob Airy put it in.
And Hextall had his stick out there, and I think if he'd have put it on the net, he would have stopped him. That's how great Hextall is.
He's been unbelievable. He really has. Penguins lead 3-1. And time left in the penalty now. 3 seconds to Jim Johnson's minor. Jeff Chikrin push it up ahead of Scott Mellenby. Johnson comes on. Here are the Flyers cutting back into the Penguins in. After it, Dan Quinn. And Quinn drops it back to center. Chikrin will dump that puck in. Well, Lemieux with a big play to strip it off Mark Howe, and then had to fight him off all the way in before getting the play set up off the post as Big Ben struck one, and the Penguins got the rebound. Here is Loney now, cutting back, going to Coffey, right side to Dave Hannon. Hannon moves in. Boy, the Penguins can score here. They can really open if they give it away, and here come the Flyers 2-on-2. Mellenby left side, Penguins in. Mellenby a drop pass over to Bullard, slap shot, save is made by Wendell Young. And Coffey trying to clear the zone. Can't do it. Flyers keep it to the right point. Mellenby's all over the ice right now. Digging for it also Tocchet. The hard workers going far side to Wells. He holds it left point, cuts down the left wing boards, shoots it in front, deflected. Tocchet has it in front, of shot by Poulin, he missed the net. Quinn belted him from behind. Randy Hillier trying to get it back. The Flyers try to answer that shorthanded goal. Hillier at center circle. He'll bank it off the boards, and then behind the Flyer goal with 11:23 to go in the second period. Penguins lead here at Philadelphia 3-1. Dave Poulin looking for Derek Smith. First to speed of the Penguins in. He rams Bork from behind against the board. Cullen though with a biscuit. Penguins center iceman. Flyers trying to pick it up in the hitting department right now, trying to get themselves going. They trail by 2. Caulfield in his own zone. He'll take the puck and bank it around the boards on the near side. Caulfield was hit, and here's Brown and Caulfield. They're going to go. Caulfield came out, and Brown went right after him. They dropped the gloves, and Caulfield pins him against the glass. Caulfield now turned around, trying to keep his balance against Brown. It comes with a right hand, and caught Brown now with a left on Caulfield. And Brown has the advantage because he has just such great balance. Caulfield trying to pin him against the glass and take him down if he can. Brown did not see much action, but I really think the Flyers were looking for a lift. They needed something to get him back in the game, and Brown came back out here, and he was looking. Caulfield and Brown sit down. 3-1 Pittsburgh, second period on the Penguins Hockey Network. Dave Brown and Jay Caulfield pick up major penalties for fighting at 9:07 of the second period.
Brown went after Caulfield after he got rid of the puck and charged into him, hit him twice, and definitely started it. No instigator on this, but they both dropped the gloves at the same time. But I don't think there's any question who was out there to start the fight in that situation. After all, you'd think that's what instigators are, the instigating penalty is all about. But then again, when you've got two heavyweights going like this, the referee is not prone to make that call. Brown got one left hand in on Caulfield.
You know, Caulfield got a right on him, and then they smashed it up. So we'll see what the Flyers do here. They came out banging. They trail 3-1. Lemieux and Bob Airy out here for the Penguins, along with Robbie Brown. And the Flyers, I think, realizing now they're in a little trouble in this hockey game and saying, hey, we got to get it going, gentlemen. We're going to find ourselves behind by even more. And the face-off will be in Penguin ice.
When you consider all the great chances the Penguins have had, Mike, and
true.
Believe me, they could be up by 3 or 4 more goals in this game.
And a key save in this hockey game, I believe, was not from Hextall, but from Wendell Young on Tim Kerr when he kept the Flyers off the board and made it 2-1 still. And the Penguins came back and then scored a shorthanded goal on that same shift.
2 great chances on 2 power plays by the Flyers in this game have come with Tim Kerr, the man who scores the power play goals, and Young has come up big on both occasions.
Canadians now lead Quebec 3-1 second period. Ron Sutter out with Tonkin and Pelly Eklund. And from the Penguin zone, Bob Airy trying to get it up ahead to Mario Lemieux. Relays it now to Coffey. Right wing to Robbie Brown. Got a stick on it. It sails into the Flyers' end. Pelly Eklund takes it behind his own net area. Giving the puck now to Shell Samuelson. Up to center red. To Ron Sutter with a good long lead pass. Right wing to Eklund, but it's passed behind a man. And Robbie Young plays it off the boards. Comes back with Lemieux 2-on-2. Gives it to Mario. It's just off his stick, and it hops into the right wing corner. Flyers zone, and Hextall's not taking any chance at all when Lemieux's on the ice. He's going right after that puck. He'll do that normally in a lot of cases anyway, but with Lemieux out there, even more so. Brown cuts for the net. He's there, his shot. He shoots and scores. Robbie Brown makes it 4-1 Pittsburgh. Oh, great balls of fire. Brownie gets it, and the Penguins lead by 3.
The puck hound, Robbie Brown, and Troy Loney got the puck, and he was trying to go to Lemieux with it, but Brown stepped in and intercepted the pass, cut in front of Pelly Eklund, who's not a very strong checker, and Brown went to the net, and as he was moving to his left, he shot it back to the right. A beautiful shot by Brown in a very tough situation for Hextall there. Hextall moving to his right, following Robbie Brown, and the shot came back in the opposite direction, and that's a tough thing to stop, right inside the post.
That is a great goal score. Hextall has been stoning people all night, and Brownie just read the play and snapped it by. So Rob Brown gets his 38th of the year, and the Penguins at 9:53 now lead 4-1.
Well, the Penguins must feel like they had a straitjacket taken off of them before this game, because the Canadians were all over them the other night, and tonight they've had so much room to skate and so many opportunities to score.
Curtis center ice. He'll blast it up into the Penguins' end. Wendell Young comes up with it. Feed it around the near boards. Robbie Brown at 9:53. Now the Flyers settle into center ice, and they will return it to the Penguin far corner. Gordonine in checking. Flyers down by 3. Here's Mike Bullard giving the puck now to Brian Propp. Pulled down from behind. Dave Hannon turns, goes the other way for the Pens. Hannon now on a 4-man rush to the Flyer line. Off to Quinn, but the pass was too far. Jay Wells just simply clears, and here's Brian Propp with Jimmy Johnson giving chase. He just came on. Propp chased by Johnson, and a good play by Johnson to get back in the action in front for Kerr. Trying to go backdoor with it, and he can't make that shot happen. Kerr's going to come off the ice. 9:07 to go in the second period. Jim Johnson relays it up to the Flyer line. A Mellamy steals. Going to Derek Smith. Back to Penguin real estate. A wrist shot, and Wendell Young very coolly reaches up and pulls it in. Now the tempers heat up here again in the near corner of the Penguin zone. Now let's recap the goals here when we get a chance. We'll take a break first. Tell you the Penguins lead 4-1 in Philadelphia. You read it right on the Penguins Hockey Network. Here, Bob Airy is 19th from Lemieux at 7:07 on the Penguin third goal. Robbie Brown is 38th at 9:53 from Loney. And now from the shot, that's stuck right around Wendell Young, and he'll hold it. We'll get another face-off. Well, John Van Beesbroek has become a spokesman on every subject in the National Hockey League these days, and Van Beesbroek said that Lemieux was really basically the Penguin team, and Robbie Brown was just riding his coattails and whatever. But I'm going to tell you something. Robbie Brown can score goals, John. And he just put that puck by one of the league's best netminders, one of the best, if not the best, in the Patrick division, Ron Hextall. So he can put it in, partner, one-on-one. And Lemieux didn't figure in on that one at all.
I don't think it's really fair to say that either. I agree with you there. No question. Robbie Brown proved it in junior hockey. You know, that it's bad enough that people knock him for all the other things he doesn't do right and overlook the fact that he is a great goal scorer. Let's not take that away from him.
Well, he's a plus at least 21 right now. He scored 38 goals. He has 91 points. He's 5th in the National Hockey League in scoring.
And let's not forget the fact that last year when he got a lot of points late in the season, he was not playing on a line with Mario Lemieux.
And the puck is worked back into Penguin ice, and Paul Coffey comes up with it. He's challenged by Derek Smith. I think more out of frustration than anything, Van Beesbrook made those comments, but I just don't think they're warranted. Here's Bob Airey now going into the Flyers into Mario Lemieux. Dump it off to Paul Coffey. And if anything, that'll just get Robbie Brown more inspired. He's been like that his whole life. Everybody tell him he's not worth anything, and he just keeps proving people wrong. Bellamy. A pass to the right wing to Poulin. Into the Penguins end. Nobody around at all. Bob Airey going to Robbie Brown. Boy, the Penguins have had some big road games this year, Paul. They blew out Minnesota 9-2, you remember. And here's Coffey coming back. His long shot deflected by Wells. And they've got a 4-1 lead here in Philadelphia. And I've said many times, nothing's safe here, boy. You just got to keep pouring it on. You got to score 10. You could have an 8-0 lead in this building and still not feel comfortable. Dahlquist. Pass up the right wing boards. And right back in behind the Flyer net. Chychrun going back to touch it. We have an icing call here against the Penguins. Again, updating on the U.S. Air scoreboard. Montreal leads Quebec 3-1 in the second period. Toronto with a 1-0 lead over the Islanders in period number 2 at New York. And St. Louis leads Buffalo 2-1. Well, Paul Holmgren earlier this year said this streak will be broken. It will be.
I was just going to say the same thing.
He did say it. It'll go by the wayside, but it ain't over yet. A lot of time. All those folks that sent good luck charms, and of course we had the witch doctors here today. And Scott Paulson and Jimmy Krenn. Folks in over. Trying to shake it.
Ronnie Sutter still wearing that jaw harness. He missed 22 games because of a broken jaw.
Right of goaltender Wendell Young. That's where the faceoff will be 25 feet away. Ron Sutter against Dan Quinn of Pittsburgh. Quinn turned it around the boards. Chychrun came over. And now worked it in behind to the left wing corner. Dineen unable to clear. Flyers take it away. They go to Sutter. Sutter hit from behind by Dahlquist. Now Tocchet. The Flyers working real effectively here this shift. Tocchet laid in front off a skate, and it comes right to Dan Quinn. Quinn has Hannon open. Instead goes to Troy Loney. Loney bounce it up into the Flyers right wing corner. Going for it will be Hannon. Oh, is he shoulder checked by Carkner. The puck back around to the corner, and Carkner has to play it now to Rick Tocchet. And the puck moved right across rink wide into the Flyer bench. Penguins lead here 4-1 on goals by Cullen, Bourque, Airey, and Brown. We'll be back in a moment on the Penguins Hockey Network. Along with Paul Steigerwald, Mike Lang here at the Spectrum in Philadelphia, where the Penguins lead Philadelphia 4-1. And if you know somebody that might not be listening or watching this game, might be a good time right now to call them. We might see something happen here tonight. That hasn't happened since 1974. You know where you were in 1974?
I was in college, not paying much attention, to be honest with you.
Here's Gord Murphy, put the puck into the Penguins in front of the net. Berube trying to knock it in, and he can't do it. Doug Sullivan chases left wing corner. Berube, Mellamy out here along with Sullivan. And the Penguins do clear the puck out of their own territory. It'll come deep into Philadelphia real estate.
On second thought, Mike, I did watch that game on television. I do remember watching, not the whole thing, but I remember watching part of it. And it seemed like a big deal even then to beat the Flyers on the road. It really did.
Well, the Penguins have won only 5 times in the history. So they had 7 years. And Wendell Young is decked to the left of the net. And we have a penalty coming up here against the Flyers. Bob Airey is involved. I think Berube is the guy that caught Wendell Young. Now, Berube was the center of attention on the check at Vancouver against Rich Sutter. And now Wendell Young is leveled. Berube's not earning himself a very good reputation, although now Mellamy and Jimmy Johnson have some words.
I got a feeling Wendell Young is playing this as far up to the hilt as he can possibly play it, too. Skip Thayer came out to have a word with him, and Wendell just stayed right there and in a nice little conversation with him.
Penguins 4, Flyers 1 on the Penguins Hockey Network. Berube will get a 2-minute minor for charging. The penalty comes at 13:46, and so the Penguins go to work on the power play. It'll be their 3rd chance of the night.
Wendell Young came out of the net to play the puck for Bob Airey, and then he just decided to push it off the boards, and Berube came by and just gave him a little shot, and then Airey gave Berube a shot across the face, but Berube did not respond to that. Wendell Young really didn't appear to be hit that hard to me. I like the way he stayed down, though, and really played it up. He got hit. He got surprised. That's the main thing. He was surprised. There's no way he was expecting Berube to come through the way he did.
And Bob Airy had his stick and hands up into the face of Berube, and nothing was called there. So
surprised Berube didn't go crazy when Airy did that.
Montreal scores again. They now lead Quebec 4-1.
You know, there's been some rumors about Dave Brown possibly being traded here. The Edmonton Oilers are very interested, and naturally when the Edmonton Oilers become interested, then the Calgary Flames become interested. And the Flyers feel that they have enough toughness now that maybe Dave Brown would be expendable.
Here's one I hear today. Klima and Probert and one other Red Wing to Edmonton for Jimmy Carson. That's one that was making rounds around the locker room before the game.
Well, I really have a lot of respect for Bob Probert as a hockey player, and I feel sorry for him as a person, and I don't know why any team would really want to take that risk right now.
Here's Propp now coming to the Penguins end shorthanded. The Penguins on a power play. 4-1 the Penguins lead. Right point Samuelson shoots it, and Wendell Young stopped it. Rebound. Poulin can't get it, and Wendell Young will, and he dives to the left of the net to hold on. Well, with Barrasso in a backup role tonight, my guess is that he'll probably play tomorrow night against the St. Louis Blues. That is, of course, you know, Young's having a big night so far tonight for the Pens. He might be right back in there. The ideal thing, if you could, it would be to give Barrasso as much rest as possible with that groin pull, but apparently he has to be. I mean, not say apparently, he's ready to go. He says he's ready to go. He's on the bench.
Well, he says he never really goes down a lot in warm-up, so he's been out there. He feels pretty good. He's skating, he's stopping pucks, but he says you really won't know until he gets in a game and goes down and makes moves that he's generally used to making. He says when it hurts him is when he has to get himself back up. It's not when he goes down and kicks his leg out. It's the muscle that he uses to get himself back on his skates, and that's what he's a little concerned about. So I guess until he plays a game, he really won't know how he feels.
Right wing circle, Penguin zone. And the Penguin power play has Lemieux, Danny Quinn, and Robbie Brown up front. I asked Robbie Brown prior to the game tonight how many tickets he's going to need in Edmonton, his hometown, for the All-Star game, and he said 10. That's not too many. Said he had 8 secured already, was looking for 2 more. Here's Quinn out of the Flyers. Here comes down with a slap shot, and Hextall closes the legs up and makes the save on Danny Quinn. I know Browning would love to go to Edmonton with 40 in his pocket. He has 38 now, including 1 tonight. And, of course, the Penguins play the Blues tomorrow night and Boston on Sunday before the All-Star break. A shot by Danny Quinn. Hextall read it pretty well. Jay Caulfield and Dave Brown now have served their penalty time and come off. Blues score again. They lead Buffalo 3-1. That game in the first period at St. Louis. Brown on the Flyer bench, and of course Caulfield. Back to the Penguin Pine. Face-off will be to the left of Ron Hextall with 1 minute and 31 seconds to go on the Craig Berube penalty. Penguins have a power play goal here tonight. The opening goal by John Cullen. The Flyers check it aside, and it goes deep back into Penguin territory. Going for it is Paul Coffey. Coffey off the boards for Phil Bourque. Bourque to Robbie Brown. The Penguin right winger shoots it in behind the Flyer net. Right to Hextall. He cut it off. He's going to turn and clear it himself. He got it right by Danny Quinn. 2-on-1 develops. Lemieux gets back, though. Make it 2-on-2. Propp shoots. Hit the side of the net. Lemieux's in. And Poulin ran into him and knocked the net off the mooring. You know, that would have been a big goal there for the Flyers if they've been able to score. But he hit the side of the net, did Brian Propp. And the Penguins able to get a face-off in their own zone. That was set up by Ron Hextall out of his own end. That's how dangerous he is with that stick. And
well, Lemieux came back and tried to do the best he could defensively in that situation. Hextall coming behind the net and snapping one up through the middle, right on the stick of Dave Poulin. Another guy who's capable of doing that is Tom Barrasso. We saw him set up Lemieux earlier this year doing that. And the shot hit the side of the net. Brian Propp.
1:02 to go in the penalty to Craig Berube. Flyers shorthanded. Penguins control this face-off. And they've got Cullen out here with Robbie Brown and Mario Lemieux. And Jimmy Johnson and Paul Coffey lead the rush on the power play on the points. Shot by Coffey right to Hextall's strength, and he flips it high in the air. It's tough. I mean, there's not too many places you can't shoot it where he can get it, but you got to try and play it away from him. You just can't play into his hand. Now deep into the Penguins end to play away from the net. John Cullen comes up, looks for Lemieux. He might have some space here. Cullen coming down the alley, goes to Lemieux. He'll cut across the ice, though. Boy, Lemieux could have got in behind that defense right there, but Cullen just couldn't get the pass to him, I don't think. Coffey holds it, slide it down the boards. He tries to deaden that puck into the corner, but it does come to Hextall again. That's what I'm talking about. They're trying to find something to get it away from him. And it's tough. Oh, you got to give him credit.
Chikrin talked about it today. He said he cleared it 5 times on the game last week.
Here's Robbie Brown, had it checked aside, back to center. And Coffey now settles it. It makes you a little uneasy, too, because you don't want to be the kind of goat in the situation to give it to him, but sometimes you can't help it. Lead pass back to Coffey. Flyers in, has a chance. Now look at you. Oh, he's had it blocked at the last second by Samuelson, and it comes right back at Hextall. Now, Hextall gets his stick flying around there and takes a shot at John Cullen. And, oh, Cullen's racked by Berube, who just came on and comes after Cullen, and Cullen's getting worked over. Now, Berube's gone nuts. Samuelson puts a stick right into the face of Robbie Brown, and they have words. Now Berube again. And Berube's in danger right here of really losing it. Boy, John Cullen must have felt like a punching bag.
It all started with Hextall. When Hextall gets a little frustrated, look out for the stick if you're standing in the crease.
Yeah, the Penguins hanging in there. At least they're going to the net. They're fighting for their lives, and they lead 4-1 here. Berube had just come out from the penalty, and he started whacking people around. You can go back now, Craig, and sit him down again. 4-1. The Penguins will be back in a moment on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Hextall took a shot at John Cullen to start things. Cullen came back after Berube hit him in the back of the head and swung his stick. Berube kept throwing punches at Cullen, who didn't have any idea where that was coming from. And then Samuelson came in and started in on Cullen. Great chance for Mario Lemieux on the play, too. He was wide open coming down the wing, but Samuelson made a great defensive play to come over, and he just got his right skate on it, sliding across. And Lemieux had that shot ticketed for the open net. Samuelson started it.
Now Hextall coming after Robbie Brown. And Brown went back to pick his glove up. And Dave Poulin says something to Robbie Brown. Lemieux comes over to talk to Dave Poulin. Well, Berube's going to sit down. I'm not sure of the penalties. I didn't hear them. I'll be honest with you. I'm not sure. I think the Penguins will get a power play out of this, but I don't see any time on the board. Cullen may have picked up a double minor here.
For what?
Berube and Samuelson.
Samuelson was working Jimmy Johnson over, too, while Hextall was hitting Cullen in the back of the head.
Well, I don't see any penalty time, so evidently Cullen must have picked up a double minor.
It's hard to believe.
Unless the sportsmanlike conduct penalty to Samuelson, that was a minor penalty. Berube may have picked up a misconduct. I'm not sure. They may have squared themselves off. Why don't you go down and check, Paul, and see if we can find out. Somebody's got to have it down there. 4:09 left here in the period. And the Penguins have scored twice here in this frame. Bob Airey and Robbie Brown leading 4-1. The shots, the Penguins with 17, 10 in this period. The Flyers have 11. They'll make that 9. 9. And the Flyers right now, with only 4 men on the ice, let's see what the Penguins bring out. They're going to have a power play. The time has gone up. Samuelson gets the extra minor penalty. So Berube and Cullen scratch each other out, and Samuelson gets an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. Penguins with their 4th power play chance. And here's Danny Quinn losing the puck to Dave Poulin. Poulin, slap shot, broke his stick in the maneuver, and now Wendell Young slides it over to the far corner. Ryan Propp tapping it behind the Penguin net. Now let's see if the Penguins can turn a level up right now. A goal here would be a big one. They lead already 4-1. Coffey looks for the view behind the defense. He's alone. Breakaway. In and goal on Hextall. He shoots, and Hextall stops him again. Oh, he got that glove on at the very last second. Boy, Lemieux must feel snake bitten right now. Ronnie Hextall has really come up brilliant tonight against him. Bork fires. Down deep into the right wing corner of the Flyers in. After it, Dan Quinn. Quinn around behind the net. Hextall takes it, trying to do it all himself. And he clears it and does it. He made a great save on Lemieux. Boy, Mario has had at least 4 chances against Hextall tonight. And the Pens have tapped him for 4 also. Coffey's lead pass to the Flyers in. Right to Hextall. Off the boards. Yeah, to the blue line. Not out, though. Coffey. Left side. Johnson moves in to Lemieux. Mario sets it up. Penguins must be patient against Hextall. They can't. Now around the net to Quinn in front. Got a man there. Brown. He misfired. Brown puts it back in front. Knocked away to Karkner of Philadelphia. Karkner trying to get it out. He slides it ahead for Eklund. Back. Eklund to the Penguin blue line. Comes down with a slap shot. And Young held his ground nicely and made a blocking glove save. Coffey of Pittsburgh with 40 seconds to go on the penalty. To the Flyers, Shell Samuelson. Pittsburgh 4, the Flyers 1 with 2:40 to go. Here in period number 2. Lead pass to Dave Hannon. Hannon cuts in. Hextall came out. Whack that puck away. Comes over to Brown. Hextall's out of the net. Right side to Johnson. Shooting. The stop is made. Rebound. Lemieux can't beat him again. Lemieux just can't beat Ronnie Hextall. He's throwing the kitchen sink, the kitchen, the bathroom, the toilets. Can't get it in by him.
Well, when he hasn't made the save on Lemieux, Shell Samuelson did a little while ago. Shot came from the point by Johnson. Hextall made the save. The rebound laying right there. Lemieux came in looking for it, and Hextall got that stick glove down and used his fingers to make the save on that one.
Well, at the moment, you've got to admire Hextall the way he's playing. However, I think he's right now maybe trying to do too much for the Flyers, and that may backfire on him a little bit. He's out around the net. He's doing everything. He's been very tough. What a great save he made on Lemieux.
I think Lemieux felt the last time he had a chance to go to the glove side, he didn't get it up high enough. So this time he tried it again. Maybe Hextall's baiting him a little bit, giving him that net, and then taking it away from him. Lemieux really hasn't decided to make the big moves on him as much as he can. We've seen him in the past really get him moving, but he's just electing to try to pick the corners on Hextall tonight. The one time he did try to make a move on him, Hextall poke checked him, and he was able to get it back to the net. It went off the post, and the Penguins got a goal out of it.
Well, Mario is going to do all the plumbing in the house, get rid of it all.
And the irony of ironies is the Penguins lead 4-1, and Lemieux has been snake bitten. He's had probably more chances in this game than he's had against Hextall all season long.
Yep.
You can't believe it, Mario.
Well, he'll gladly take a win here for all the trouble he's had tonight, because eventually he'll catch up to him.
It can't be the Sports Illustrated jinx, I don't think, anyway.
Lemieux with Airy and Troy Loney. Lemieux wins the draw. Left side of Coffey. Now to Jimmy Johnson. Knocked aside, and here's Ron Sutter back. Talkett's alone up front. Coffey chases. Coffey will catch him. He'll never get the shot off. That's the speed that Coffey has. He pulls down Talkett. Penalty coming up. And the Penguins will be shorthanded themselves. And this one's going to run right into the next penalty. Only 2 seconds remain on Samuelson's.
That was a great dive. Give him a 10 on that one. Rick Talkett. Coffey and Talkett are good buddies. And I think Coffey did a nice job of taking him out on this play, made a good defensive play. He does like to tug him, get a little hold of your jersey every now and then. He reached around Talkett. I don't know about that one.
Well, the holding call against Penguin defenseman Paul Coffey. And the Flyers in 2 seconds will get a power play. It will be their third chance. The Penguins will be 1 for 4 on the power play. Blues now lead Buffalo 3-2 in the second period. Montreal is a 4-1 leader for Quebec in the second. It's double trouble with Simmons Business Systems honors goals by the double numbered players of the Pens. Coffey, Lemieux, Brown, and Zalapski. Each goal worth $25. Robbie Brown scoring tonight for the Pens. Simmons Business Systems now has donated $3,000 to Make-A-Wish. 4-on-4. Samuelson will come out of the box in 2 seconds. Face-off won by the Pens. But now Kerr takes control of it. Goes behind the Penguin net. Lemieux's after him. Samuelson comes off, prop on. The power play on for the Flyers. Lemieux steals, and here he comes. The Penguins have a shorthanded goal here tonight. Lemieux zigzag through traffic, cutting right down the slot. Here he comes in on goals. Can't get the shot off. He's hooked from behind. There'll be a penalty coming up against the Flyers. Now the Flyers were all over him coming down the slot. He's just so tough to stop. If he'd have beaten Hextall on that one, it would have been worth the whole night.
I'll tell you, he's really just trying to battle back here, knowing that he's a little bit snake bit. He's trying to do it all. He made a great play on Kerr to take the puck away from him in the first place, then intercepted the shot by Karkner, then took it up ice, split the defense, went in and was hooked, and Mario just doing it all. Even though he's not scoring, he's trying to make up for it in other ways, and he just made a great defensive play, turned it into a great offensive opportunity.
Karkner gets a 2-minute minor for hooking and a 10-minute misconduct from Bill McCreary, the referee. We're arguing the call. You know, of all the chances Lemieux has had, we've seen him score the spectacular ones even more, and that would have been one of them right there.
Mike Bullard,
even Hextall would have had to take his hat off to him if he'd put it by him on that shot.
Mike Bullard has not seen a lot of ice tonight, Mike, but he's out here now against Lemieux, his former line mate.
Now Lemieux right wing circle, Flyers in. Deneen and Bork back for the Penguins. 4-on-4 at the moment. Tocchet and Bullard up front for the Philadelphia Flyers. Robbie Brown and Mario Lemieux for the Pens. And Gord Murphy now shoots it back to center. Lemieux steals again, giving the puck to Phil Bork. Bork off the boards. Whack it back to the Flyer line, and chasing after it is Gord Murphy. Murphy. Lemieux's in, trying to take it away from Tocchet and the Flyers in. He can't do that. Mario with a couple of assists tonight, but he's played extremely well for the Penguins. Bork returns to his own end. We have a minute 23 to go in the period. They will be. Penguins will get a brief amount of power play time late in this period of action. Tocchet centers and one wide of everybody. Here's Robbie Brown. Lemieux's wide open. Can he get it to him? He does. Behind the defense. Wells chases. Lemieux comes down. His shot. Where is it? It missed the net that time. He's hooked by Wells on the play. Boy, Lemieux has had so many chances here tonight. Back on the right wing comes Mike Bullard. Bullard up. Going to the Penguins in. A drop pass to Tocchet. Look out. His shot trickles through, and Young will stop it down on the ice. It goes in after the whistle had sounded. The puck went in after the whistle had sounded, and everybody's pretty aware of that. You can hear it up here. Flyer fans are responding as if a goal were scored. The light did go on, but McCreary blew the whistle, and clearly before the puck went in behind goaltender Wendell Young. So 55 seconds remain. I don't know where that shot where Lemieux went down the left side as Wells chased after him. Flyers opportunity with Mike Bullard breaking back into the Penguins end. Left it for Rick Tocchet. Then ran interference for him. Going in. But Young clearly had the glove over it and then whacked up by Bullard, who put it in behind him. .55 to go in the period. 44 in the Penguin penalty. So the Penguins will get 10 seconds of power play time late in the period. They lead already 4-1. And Steve Dykstra from behind the Penguin cage. Lay it ahead to Loney. Loney, a left wing pass intended for Dave Hannon. Couldn't come up with it. Now he goes into the Flyers end. Does take control. Working in behind the Flyer net. Hextall around the left side for Mike Bullard. 38 to go in the period. Bullard 3-on-3 to the Penguin line. Left side to Kerr. Kerr snaps one off. The leg save made by Wendell Young. The rebound gathered in by Troy Loney. Half a minute to go in the period. Loney coming to the Flyer stripe. Fell down. Mike Bullard corrals the puck for Philadelphia. And the Flyer center iceman works left wing up to Tim Kerr. He's in the Penguin ice with 18 to go in the period. Kerr challenged by Jim Johnson. Lemieux comes over. He's back on here. And we'll tap it over to Dykstra with 10 seconds to go. Penguins on a power play now the rest of the period. Coffey's on the ice. Coffey offside. I don't think Dykstra realized the Penguins had a power play coming up. And now Coffey just taps Dykstra in the leg with a stick as if to say good try. Coffey might have been calling for that puck on that right wing side as he came off the bench. Dangerous guy to have there, boy, coming off. Now Penguins and Blues tomorrow night. Then Sunday before the All-Star break, the Penguins will be at Boston. That game will be broadcast both radio and television-wise. On the radio side, of course, on our network, and on the TV side on WPGH TV 53 and Channel 8 in Altoona and Johnstown. The truck pulls coming to town. Pacific Arena, 3 days of exciting motorsport action, February 24th through the 26th. U.S. Hot Rod Association Truck Pull Championships will feature super modified trucks, dragsters, funny cars, and Borean, the jet-powered transforming robot. Tickets available at all choice seat outlets, and that will be February 24th through the 26th. Now they drop the puck. The period ends with 6 seconds to go, and we close it out. We've played 2 here at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. The scoreboard reads, the Penguins 4, the Flyers 1 on the Penguins Hockey Network. We are back at the Spectrum in Philadelphia with the Penguins lead the Flyers with a score of 4-1. The second period scoring, the Penguins on the board at the 7:07 mark as Bob Airy got a shorthanded goal. Lemieux stealing the puck from Mark Howe and then worked it in, hit the post, and the rebound came to Airy, who got his 19th of the year. And then at 9:53, Robbie Brown scoring his 38th of the season. Brown from Troy Loney. And that gave the Penguins a 4-1 lead. They went back and forth late in the period. The shots on goal, Pittsburgh with 15. And the Flyers with 14 in the period. The Flyers have outshot the Penguins 26-22 in this game tonight. And remarkably so, Mario Lemieux with only 2 assists in this game this evening. But Mario has had a number of chances against Ron Hextall. He had a shot that went off the post that Bob Airy scored on. He's had a couple of 2, 3, 4 breakaway chances against Hextall, who stopped him on all occasions. And Lemieux has played some type of game for the Penguins here this evening as the Penguins have a 4-1 lead. And a reminder to you, the Penguins this year, keep your fingers crossed, have not lost a game when they've had the lead going to the third period against an opponent. But we all know where we are. We're at the Spectrum in Philadelphia, and we'll see what happens the rest of the way. Paul Steigerwald will be standing by with his special guest, I believe, momentarily here, and we will go down and join him in just a moment. 4-1, the Penguins lead on the Penguins Hockey Network. Well, we're back at the Spectrum in Philadelphia and unable to make contact apparently with Paul Steigerwald downstairs, so you're going to have to listen to me for a little bit as the Penguins lead the Flyers 4-1. The last time the Penguins won here in Philadelphia was January 20th, 1974, and then it started a string that started on the 7th of February. Penguins lost the next game 5-4, were shut out by the Flyers in the one following that, and as you well know, the streak proceeded to be an 0-39-3 maneuver. The Penguins have lost the last 6 games here in Philadelphia, and the last tie that they had was back on the 19th of February, and that was in 1987. They had a 4-4 tie against the Flyers. Prior to that, they had lost 23 straight games to Philadelphia. So you can see what kind of a streak the Penguins have had against the Flyers here over the course of it all. In the 42 games, the Penguins have been outscored here by the Flyers. On average over 5 goals a game for Philadelphia, 5.26 to 2.29. And of course the Flyers in the 28th game that they beat the Pens had a 35 game unbeaten streak during that 79-80 season. We remember that. And that of course was the famous game in which Ben Wilson had a goal that was apparently kicked in but credited by referee Dave Newell, and the Flyers went on to tie the Penguins to keep that dramatic streak alive. Well, Tuesday, February 14th, on Valentine's Day, when the Penguins meet the Buffalo Sabres, it's TCI water bottle night. The first 10,000 fans 18 and over receive a handy water bottle, compliments of TCI. That'll be Tuesday, February 14th, the Penguins versus Buffalo, and tickets are available at all choice seat outlets and the Civic Arena. Gate 1, or you can charge tickets by phone at 333-SEAT. All right, Paul is standing by with Tony Esposito, the general manager of the Pens, and let's go down and join them right now.
Thank you very much, Mike. Tony, you have to be impressed with the way the team responded in the second period. Just played super, and Ronnie Hextall's making some big saves. You know what that's all about.
Yes, Paul, he's keeping them in the game. I think that we played as well as we could possibly have played for 2 periods. We're up 4-1, which is a nice cushion, but it could be better. But now we know we got to suck it up a little because we're getting a little tired and give 20 more minutes of hard, strenuous effort like we have been. I'm very pleased at this point.
Got to be pleased also with the play of Wendell Young. He hasn't been tested as often as Hextall, but he's made some big saves.
Yes, he has. He's come up big for us, and the key to his playing is he's not giving up the rebounds. He was having trouble recently because he was kicking the puck out, and it seems like he's holding everything and eliminated. You know, Flyers are a second team effort. You know, they always give that second burst, and if he freezes the puck and stops the play, it eliminates that a lot.
In a game like this, and knowing that the Penguins have had trouble holding leads in this building, but never going into the third period. When they've been leading going to the third period, they've won all their games this year. But I guess the idea is to just keep doing what you've been doing the whole game.
Yes, we're not going to change. Used to be a history of sitting back and waiting for them to come. We've won a lot of games in the third period this year, and we're going to continue to keep working at it and not sit back. And if I think we do this and eliminate the foolish penalty, I think we could be okay.
Yeah, notice some discipline tonight. Jay Caulfield had to go with Dave Brown, but other than that, the Penguins seem to be trying to hold their own and as far as the emotions and not let them get out of hand here and get the crowd back into the game.
That's true. Jay was forced into it. The man came after him, Brown did, and he had to defend himself. But we're trying to be more disciplined. If you notice, we have cut down a lot on our penalties.
You know, the Montreal Canadiens, I guess, showed the other night what that's all about. They don't take a lot of penalties, and they win a lot of games as a result.
That's true. They taught us a lesson the other night with discipline, sort of turn the other cheek, but very physical, and we have to do the same thing. I think we had established ourselves as a team earlier that, hey, nobody's going to push us around anymore. So I think we've done that. Now we can get back to hockey and eliminate a lot of the extra fighting.
Tony, thanks for stopping by, and good luck in the third.
Thanks, Paul.
Tony Esposito, Penguins general manager, has been our guest, and we'll return to the Spectrum in Philadelphia in just a moment on the Penguins Hockey Network.
We are at the Spectrum in Philadelphia, and the Penguins, of course, have the Blues at home tomorrow. When you watch the fast action of the Pittsburgh Penguins, remember that limousine services are provided by Carriage Limousine Service, the pleasure trip. Call 488-7000. In Philadelphia, where the Penguins have not won since 1974, we have played 2 periods of hockey, and the Penguins have the lead over Philadelphia. And again, reminding you, the Penguins in games they've been involved with this year with the league going to the 3rd period, they have not lost a game this year. They are 21-0-1. And the Flyers, of course, realizing that the streak is on the line also, we expect them to come out flying here to begin the 3rd period. And as Tony Esposito, we talked to him prior to that, felt that the score could be even worse. And he's probably right, the way the Penguins have played tonight. Let's look out of town on the U.S. Air scoreboard. Montreal leads Quebec now 4-1 in the 3rd period. Toronto and the Islanders in period number 2 at New York. They are tied. And in the 2nd period at St. Louis, the Blues have the lead over Buffalo. The score there, St. Louis 3 and Buffalo 2. And later tonight, Calgary will host Detroit and Los Angeles at home against the New Jersey Devils. We'll have more from Philadelphia momentarily as the Penguins lead 4-1 on the Penguins Hockey Network. Bob Airy of the Penguins scoring in period number 2, his 19th of the year, as Lemieux fighting off Mark Howe, and Howe eventually left the game after the play. And Lemieux came in, ringing up the post, and Bob Airy followed to snap it home, his 19th of the campaign, to give the Penguins a 3-1 lead at that point. And then at 9:53, Loney digging the puck off the boards, worked it free, and Robbie Brown, it actually hit Karkner's skate, came back to Brown in front, and he wheeled one right by Ronnie Hextall to give the Penguins a 4-1 lead. Legendary Oro Valley Golf Club, located just an hour's drive from Pittsburgh in Ligonier, Pennsylvania, is the site of the 1989 U.S. Senior Open. See golfing greats like Arnold Palmer, Gary Player, Chichi Rodriguez, and Miller Barber as they compete for senior golf's most prestigious title, June 26th through the 22nd, or prestigious title, I guess it should be. Choice seat outlets have season and individual day tickets for the 89 Senior Open at Oro Valley Golf Club. Anything else we got to talk about? We got the golf club, the limousines, we got it all. We must have some other things. We got a hockey game. Penguins lead 4-1 going to the 3rd period.
Let's talk about Andy Brown. The guy was in goal on January 20th, 1974 for the Penguins without a mask and won the game 5-3.
There were 7 former players that played in that Philadelphia team that won that night against Pittsburgh. Ed Van Imp, Tom Bladen. When we go down the line, Dave Schultz, yeah, Ross Lonsberry, Rick McLeish, Oris Kindrachuk, and Bobby Taylor was the backup goaltender that night.
You know what's funny about it? It's like the Penguins went out and got all those guys to see if they could use the, I don't know, the people that got them all those years.
3rd period begins, and the Penguins on a power play, and they have a lot of time to work with here, and they move it back. Now Karkner comes on here. Then I don't say a lot of time, just very little time. And Karkner comes on. The penalty's expired, so both teams at equal strength. You remember the play when Karkner took the penalty after Coffey had been sent off. Now move back into the Pittsburgh end and off the right wing boards. Here's Ron Sutter going to Gord Murphy. Fan out of it. Jay Wells is there. Wells shoots one. And that blocking glove save is made by Young. Gord Murphy drills one. Blocked, and here's Bob Airy back trying to get it out. He can't do it. Paul Coffey, expect the Flyers to come strong here in this 3rd period. Ron Sutter leaves the puck for Gord Murphy, and Murphy skates right back into the Penguins in. Left side, there's Eklund, cuts for the net. His shot. Wendell Young just robbed him with a glove save, and McCurry lost sight of it, and Wendell Young made a big save early in the 3rd here on Pelle Eklund as he came in on the backhand, and Ron Sutter slams the stick down in disgust, thinking that McCurry should have been able to follow that puck. It was a live puck off Wendell Young, but he made a spectacular save on Pelle Eklund.
That he did. His glove hand has been really sharp all night long, and this time he got the glove out there. He just got a piece of the puck. One of the Penguins got the stick in there, too, to try to get the puck and whack it out of there. It may have been Sutter, actually. I don't know. I saw the blade of the stick come in there. The puck was settling into the glove of Wendell Young when a stick came in and knocked it away. And it was Ronnie Sutter. He tried to bat that puck out of the air. Wendell Young was able to clear it away from the crease.
Mike Bullard out for the Flyers with Tim Kerr and Craig Berube. Karkner and Samuelson back. Danny Quinn works center for the Penguins. And he's got Dave Hannon out here and Troy Loney. Defensively, the Penguins have Dykstra and Johnson.
First few minutes of this period are crucial, I think, for the Pens.
4-1, the Penguins have the lead. Karkner right side now going to Samuelson. Moves in with a wrist shot. That's off Young's glove. Whipped in behind the net, and Dykstra defensively for Pittsburgh. Sent it away off the right wing boards, but not out. Karkner holds it in. The Flyers have had it all, and the Penguins in here to begin the third period. As we expected, here's Kerr going behind the net, turns, and the puck is knocked off the moorings again as Berube and Johnson collided. They call for a face-off to the left of Wendell Young.
Well, the Flyers just trying to barge into that net. They've got Berube up front with Bullard and Kerr. Two big bookends with Mike Bullard there to maybe jump on a loose puck if he can. Kerr came out from behind the net, and the puck went across the crease, and the net was knocked off the moorings by Berube. Jimmy Johnson actually knocked Berube into the goal cage.
Montreal, Thibodeau scores for the Canadiens. 5-1 now in the third. Wish we had some time here to talk about Dick Irvin. Told me an interesting story about the Canadiens and Nordiques. I want to try and relate that. A broadcaster for the Canadiens. Shot right to the net and stopped by Wendell Young. On a blast by Sale Samuelson. Karkner has it in front. Man there. Bullard, he scores. The Flyers get a goal. 109 of period number 3 to make it 4-2. So Mike Bullard does get the goal. The Flyers already in the period have had 6 shots in 1 minute 9 seconds. That's how strong they've come on here in the third.
Tony Esposito used the word tired between periods when we talked about the Penguins, and boy, the mental strain on this club, knowing what they're faced with here, must be tough. It was very quiet in that Penguin locker room between periods. I could hear the voice of Davey Hannon, of course. He's always chirping, but it seemed very quiet in there during the intermission, as if the Penguins were really concentrating on what they were trying to do here. And now they're down to a 2-goal lead.
4-2, the Penguins lead. Bullard will get credit for the goal. And Jeff Chikrin. Samuelson has one of the assists on the goal for the Flyers. Worked around the far side by Pittsburgh and out back to center. John Cullen gives chase. So the Flyers strike just 1 minute 9 seconds into the third period. They got a big goal that they wanted to get them back within range in this game. And the Penguins drop it into the Flyers in. Jay Wells goes back. He's checked by John Cullen, but here come the Flyers again. Brian Propp rambling back. Or make it Poulin into the Penguins in. Trying to beat Gordon Dineen. Has to steer it to the near corner. Dahlquist went after it. He is hammered on a check by Derek Smith, and the Penguins come out, and they've got a break. I mean, here's Cullen left side against the big, tall Samuelson. Just tempered to the corner. Dan Frawley went for the puck. Shoots it towards the net, and Hextall got a piece of that. Back comes Mellanby. Mellanby of Philadelphia. He'll draw it to the Penguins in. It comes around to the left wing boards. Karkner collides with Hillier. Hillier went down. After it is Frawley, a fresh troop out there for the Pens. Flyers trying to take it away. Karkner back to the left point. And he gives it away to Randy Hillier. Hillier to Mario Lemieux. Soft little pass to Coffey. Rolls up his stick, and the Flyers give it right back to the Penguins. Robbie Brown takes a pass from Lemieux. Going to Bob Airy. Looks for Lemieux in the left wing. Can't get it to him. Brown will try. Just turn it over to the Flyers and goes after his own pass. Robbie Brown, left wing corner. Wheeling with that puck. Trying to get it to Lemieux, and he's too well covered by Ron Sutter. Sutter now carries the mail. He'll go to the Penguin line. 4-2, the Penguins lead. Here's Sutter cutting down. Put it in front. Nobody is there. Lemieux playing off the boards and right back to center red. 17:15 to go. Third period. Pittsburgh 4, the Flyers 2. Penguins trying to snap the 42-game streak the Flyers have against them. They have not won since 1974. And the pass off the glass by Robbie Brown hops into the Flyers in. Philadelphia's Jay Wells goes back to take control of it. Wells steps to the left of goaltender Ron Hextall. Wells moves to the right of that Philadelphia net, and Wells with an outlet pass to center. Bullard trying to come up with it, picked off by Dykstra. Back to Lemieux 1-on-2, and Mario's going to drive his way to the Flyers in. Down the left side, fights off the attack and pulled down by Jay Wells. Where's the puck? It's up in the air, but the net again is dislodged. 16:39 left, third period. Penguins by 2, 4-2 over the Flyers on the Penguins Hockey Network. Face off, the Penguins fired right to the net, and Hextall makes that save off the shot by Steve Dykstra. And Philadelphia again wheels to center ice quickly. Mike Bullard to the Penguins line. Got around Dykstra, cuts for the net. His shot. Young made the save on him. He got the right skate at the last second against Bullard. Penguins move the other way, and they got a 4-man rush to the Flyers line. Dave Hannon, right wing, comes in. His shot. He stepped one off, and that stop is made by Hextall. Nowhere to go as Loney and Hextall have some words in front of the goal. But Davey Hannon, boy, remember early in the game when he had that chance on that breakaway. And now with a good shot there by Davey. And glove by Hextall at the very last second. Hextall has been terrific in goal tonight. He really has.
And so has Wendell Young. Here's a great opportunity for Mike Bullard. A great goal scorer comes down, and Young again standing up in this, waiting until he made the shot and then getting his right pad down to make the save on Mike Bullard. Bullard decided not to go upstairs. He wanted to go down low on him. He pulled it around the defense. Dykstra went flopping to the ice, and boy, he had that lower left corner ticketed, and Wendell Young got his right pad out to make the save on Bullard, who already has a goal here in the third period. Bullard didn't get a lot of ice in the first 2 periods, but now he's trying to win it all by himself, or get back into it all by himself. Davey Hannon coming back to play good defense, too, sagging back to make the play and clear the rebound away.
In the Philadelphia zone to the right of Ron Hextall. Penguins forcing it behind the net, but Jeff Chikrin right there with 16:10 to go in the third. Flyers can't clear. Dave Hannon working hard. Philadelphia zone, a slap shot blocked by Karkner. Hannon goes after it again. He's possessed right now, Davey Hannon. Off the left wing side. Looking for the puck, and he has it one more time, and Hannon steers it in behind the Flyer goal. Boy, with a shift like this, Hannon, Quinn, and Loney, you keep that team bottled up in its own end. They have nowhere to go, and they can't score against you when they're down there. But here's Bellamy now. Skating back for the Flyers to the Penguin line. A shot blocked by Dahlquist. Here's Deneen in front. He almost lost the puck, and it comes to Derek Smith, who just shot it wide of the net. Now around to the near corner. Picked up by Mellamy. Centers. Bouncing puck. Loney backhanded away. That'll come the length of the ice. Hextall's going to play the puck. Penguins in a line change. Hextall realizes that and tries to hurry it along. Chikrin's pass to Mellamy. Going to the Penguins end. Cut around. Got Smith there. A shot. He hit the post to the right. He went to Young. Big Ben struck one. Derek Smith. 5 minutes into the period. Almost made it 4-3. Here's the puck back to the Flyers end. Collision between Frawley and Derek Smith. Where's the puck? It's back at center, and Coffey now settles it. He'll flip it to the Flyer right wing corner. Karkner goes back to take command of it for the Philadelphia Flyers. Laid up to Dave Poulin of Philadelphia. He had it whacked away back to the line, and Wells now ahead for Sutter behind the defense. Sutter comes in, his shot. Young again stops him cold with a stick save on Ron Sutter. That's 2 back-to-back on Smith and Sutter in a span of 30 seconds. Coffey around the far side can't get it out. It's all Philadelphia right now. And the puck played behind the net. Sutter trying to center. Run. Sutter cannot handle it, and Lemieux moves it back to center, and the Flyers have to go back and regroup. Boy, they are buzzing like bees around a hive, the Philadelphia Flyers. They trail 4-2. Third period. Sutter going to Ekman. Now back into the right wing corner. Ekman goes. Bob Airey slams him to the boards. Digging the puck out of Zeri. Goes to Lemieux. He tried to clear softly. Could not do that. Back in the corner. Airey returned and hit by Ron Sutter. And Pittsburgh's Randy Hillier can't get it out. Jay Wells has it. Put it in front. Went right by Ron Sutter. Coffey's after Sutter. Tocchet gets the puck. Tocchet moves to the goal line. Centers it off a stick. Right point. Samuelson. Head down. Slap shot. Blocked by Lemieux. Who's got it? Bob Airey does. Penguins come back 3-on-2, but they're tired. Airey now with Coffey trailing the play also. Left side to Coffey. Coffey moves in. Airey went to the bench. Penguins out of gas right now. Robbie Brown shoots it in behind the Flyer cage. And Jay Wells comes up with it. Lemieux trying to knock that pass aside. He couldn't do it. Flyers move back to Penguin ice. A pass to the slot, and Hannon cut it off. Davey Hannon's right back out for the Penguins. Bullard was up in it. Here's a lead pass to Quinn on a breakaway. Quinn going to the Flyers end. Makes a move on Hextall. He shoots and scores. Danny Quinn. The Penguins now lead 5-2. Oh, hallelujah, Hollywood. Danny Quinn.
Well, Quinn went to a different place. Mario had gone to the glove side twice tonight on breakaways, but Quinn coming with great speed, came in, cut in on Hextall. Hextall waited again, but this time he blew it by him on the stick side. The perfect place to shoot it, too. That's the toughest place for a goaltender to stop the puck. Right under the stick glove and above the pad. And Hextall watched it go right by him. Great shot by Danny Quinn. He just buried it to make it 5-2.
So the Penguins score at 6:36 on the breakaway goal by Danny Quinn. Hannon made the lead pass, and the Penguins now lead 5-2.
Hannon made a great play defensively, too, to come back and clean up his own end, reading the play very well as the Flyers came across the blue line. Hannon got in behind the defense, picked it off, turned it the other way.
Now Karkner drags it out of his own end as we go back to play. Lead pass for Mike Bullard. Beyond his reach, and Wendell Young, who stopped shots by Smith and Sutter within a span of 30 seconds to prevent the Flyers from getting on the board to make it 4-3. Big save by Wendell Young.
Up his own end, reading the play very well as the Flyers came across the blue line. Hannon got in behind the defense, picked it off, turned it the other way.
Now Karkner drags it out of his own end as we go back to play. Lead pass for Mike Bullard. Beyond his reach, and Wendell Young, who stopped shots by Smith and Sutter within a span of 30 seconds to prevent the Flyers from getting on the board to make it 4-3. Big save by Wendell Young. And the Penguins come back and cash in on a breakaway. And Troy Loney now dumps it off the sideboards. That'll come deep. Hextall, is he going to play the puck? He has to. And he runs into John Cullen. Berube, though, handles the biscuit. He'll pass ahead now for Kerr to the Penguin line to Mike Bullard. Moves in. Challenged by Dahlquist. Cullen goes after the loose puck, and he get it out of his own end. He will. Dan Frawley overskated the play. Cullen helped from behind, but he does whip it back into Flyers territory with 12:20 to go. Now the Flyers really moving on the play, and the Penguins in here early in the third period, but the Penguins counter with a big breakaway goal by Dan Quinn. This puck sent the night to the ice, and this will be an icing call against the Penguins. Catch your breath. We got a long way to go. 12:07 left in the third. Penguins 5, Flyers 2.
Young stopped Mike Bullard on a breakaway. Derek Smith had a great chance. He came down, fired one off the inside of the post that went in behind Wendell Young. The Penguins, when they got their breakaway, cashed in, and Danny Quinn came up with a big goal. Hextall really thought he was going between the legs. He brought his pads together thinking that Quinn was going to the 5-hole, but he blew it right underneath his stick glove.
5-2 Penguins in front. There's Eklund scoring. It's now 5-3. Came right in front of the net. Pelle Eklund drills it in. And the Flyers get a goal as we come back to play to make it 5-3. Pelle Eklund.
Well, this line, Ronnie Sutter line, really working hard here in the third period. Sutter's like a man possessed. He really wants to bring the Flyers back here. And Pelle Eklund just cleaning up the garbage that time. Standing in front, found the loose puck, and Wendell Young really caught by surprise. It's 5-3.
Goal number 11 for Pelle Eklund. That came from a face-off. And
Ronnie
the Flyers, got it in front, and Eklund was able to knock it in. It's now 5-3. You just can't get enough goals here at the Spectrum, I'll tell you. You got to keep firing them in. 5-3 now. Sutter and Tocchet on the assist for the Flyers. Here they come again. They wristed to the Penguin net. Tocchet's shot was stopped by Wendell Young. Robbie Brown of Pittsburgh. Beating the puck to Erie, but he can't clear. Samuelson shoots it. It hit Dykstra in the face and knocked him down. Holding call coming up. A penalty against the Penguins? Apparently so. Penguins are going to be shorthanded also. They've got Dykstra down. He was hit with that shot, and they're going to be shorthanded. 11:40 left, third period. 5-3 Penguins on the Penguins Hockey Network. Jim Johnson of Pittsburgh will sit down, a holding minor to the Penguin defenseman. Steve Dykstra apparently is all right. Hit with that shot. Well, here come the Flyers now, and the Penguins will be shorthanded. The Flyers will get power play chance number 4 on the night. Penguins led 4-1 going to the third. Mike Bullard connected at 1:09. Danny Quinn made it 5-2 Pittsburgh, and then Eklund at 7:56. Eklund scoring the goal after Sutter and the Flyers had controlled the faceoff. Sutter flipped it in front, and then Eklund just rammed it in.
You know, they talk about how the Flyers fans don't talk about the jinx and stuff like that, but don't tell me they don't sense something here. They are really wound up all of a sudden, and this game means a lot more to them than maybe you might think. This is not just an ordinary home game for them either.
17,423, a sellout crowd. And Wells now blasting the puck into the Penguins in. Remember, Mark Howe is not on the ice for the Flyers, so the Penguins got a little break there. He's not on the power play. Right point, Gord Murphy, Penguin zone. 5-3 game, a shot right on to Young. Juggles, but he holds. The shot was up too high. And the face-off again will be in Penguin territory. The Flyers already in this period have had 11 shots. The Penguins have 3. But we more or less expected it here with the Flyers down 4-1 and trying to show some character here and coming back. They're within 2. They get within 1. This place will be unbelievable. Kerr wins the draw. Right side to Gord Murphy. Murphy left side to Jay Wells. Wells holding it. Goes to the near corner now to Pelle Eklund. He's the playmaker here on this power play to Wells. Center point. He fakes a shot. Goes back to Eklund. Kerr's in front of the net. So is Tocchet. Kerr back to Eklund. Penguin penalty killers. Lemieux and Erie to Wells. A shot blocked. Lemieux's got it. Remember, the Penguins have a shorthanded goal here tonight. Lemieux finds the opening, but he couldn't get it up ice. It hit the penalty box. And they'll bring the face-off right to the Penguin line. 1:17 to go. In the penalty to the Penguin defenseman, Jim Johnson.
Well, so many times this year in crucial situations, the Penguins have been able to kill penalties on the way to big wins. Penalties that put the opposition in a situation where they could really turn the game around and really gain some momentum. So this is a very crucial situation for the Penguins. If they can kill this, that should take a lot of wind out of the Flyers' sails.
Dave Hannon now on the ice with Lemieux. Dahlquist and Hillier back. Of course, Dykstra was hit. He went off. Jimmy Johnson, the other defenseman. And they've got a false face-off. Usually would be the two defensemen back killing the penalty, but they're both off the ice at the moment.
That's right. Dahlquist and Hillier are accustomed to playing with one another. Normally Hillier is Coffey's partner, but these two play with each other on penalty killing from time to time.
And the puck pulled back into the Penguins' end. Randy Hillier chasing forward. Here's Tocchet whacking Hannon on the back of the head. Tocchet to the right wing side, and Hannon puts the hip into him. Right point, it comes to Gord Murphy. Sided behind the Penguin net. Penguins trying to clear, and they can't. Right side, it'll be Tocchet. In front is Kerr. He's a big, tough monster to move out of there. Left side to Karkner. Lost it to Lemieux, and he's going to have a chance here, I think. Lemieux down the right side, beats Karkner, cutting for the net, makes his move, and he shoots and stopped by Hextall again. Do you believe Hextall? He got a glove on it, a penalty coming up against the Flyers. Gordy Murphy, who chased Lemieux all the way back into Philadelphia territory.
Well, Lemieux...
Mario's shaking his head. He does not believe it. He can't believe what Hextall's done to him tonight. How many shots does he have? Would he get a second period total here? Now Hannon, and he is whacked by Tocchet. Tocchet just slammed Hannon down on the ice with the left hand.
Mike, I think Lemieux really had very few options there. He pretty much had to go to the short side, and that was again to the glove side of Hextall. So for the third time tonight, Hextall made the save with the glove. Penguins 5, Flyers 3, third period. We'll be back in a moment on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Well, Gord Murphy will be the only man sent off. Dave Hannon, who was knocked down by Tocchet. Lemieux broke in on
Yep, it was Gord Murphy who came over and took the legs out from underneath Mario Lemieux, sliding across. If he'd been able to get a stick on the puck, might not have been a penalty, but he was just trying to do anything he could to slow Lemieux down. Mario still got the shot away, even though Murphy was taking his skates out from under him, and a penalty on Gord Murphy. He sits down. Karkner was following him, but he didn't do anything. It was Murphy who came across and made the play on Lemieux. How about Lemieux, the way he's had breakaways tonight, and the penalty killing job he did there, stealing the puck at the blue line, and then showing that tremendous acceleration and desire to get past Karkner and get in on Hextall.
Apparently Murphy's penalty is for tripping. And they're at equal strength right now, 4 aside. Penguins lead 5-3 with 10:22 to go in regulation time. Karkner of Philadelphia. Lay it up to Mike Bullard. Over to the Flyers, going to the Penguin line. Cuts across, trying to go right through Dahlquist, and they collide, and both go down. Up with that puck will be Randy Hillier. Shoots it down the left wing boards in the Philadelphia territory. Jeff Chikrin. Tamping over to Terry Karkner. And a right wing pass to Mellanby. Penguins on, trying to beat Dahlquist. Cut around behind the net. Mellanby goes all the way to the near side. Dahlquist after him. Left point to Samuelson. Shoots one. Save made. Rebound. Bullard put it right into Wendell Young. Tried on the backhand to get it up high, and he couldn't do it. Mellanby and Dahlquist exchange words now as Wendell Young stops Mike Bullard from 10 feet away.
It was a big save he just made on Mike Bullard. Bullard tried on the backhand with the shot. Wendell Young made a nice save on the shot from the point with a right pad. But Bullard was right there for the rebound. Mellanby came around behind the net. Dahlquist followed him all the way, but Mellanby just snapped the pass back to Samuelson, who immediately threw a wrist shot to the net. And Wendell Young able to stop Bullard on the rebound. Good play by Samuelson to just turn that puck right back to the net. That's why Wendell Young had to quickly make that pad save, and there was a rebound on the play. He had to react quickly to it. Well, when you can move it back to the net in a hurry like that, it really puts pressure on the goaltender. And I think Young got his hand up to make the save on Mike Bullard. That was a great save he made.
Bullard was trying to go high at him. 9:50 to go in regulation time. 5-3, the Penguins lead. At equal strength right now. Penguins will get a power play here momentarily. And on the ice comes Jimmy Johnson. The Penguins have a power play for 1:13. Here's Troy Loney down the right wing. Going to the Flyers in. Runs right into Jay Wells. Puck picked up by Brian Propp of the Flyers. Can he clear it? Hit Loney. Lemieux goes rink wide. Brown was pulled down by Samuelson. And here are the Flyers returning back the other way shorthanded. 5-3 Pittsburgh. Third period. Pullen cuts through traffic. Take it to the right wing corner. He'll try and kill some time. And goes back to Wells, who's open. It hopped off his stick. And he just rolls it back in behind the Penguin net.
He wanted to shoot it before he had it.
Coffey takes control of the puck now with 40 seconds to go in the penalty. Lead pass for Quinn behind him. Checked aside by the Flyers. And they bang it back into the Penguins into the rink. Wendell Young will leave it for Phil Bourque. A half a minute to go on the penalty. Here's Coffey. cruising through traffic, going to center. He slows the play down. Will look to find somebody open. He's going to try and carry it himself. He goes into the Flyers' end. Drop pass right point to Brown. Giving the puck to Dan Quinn. Number 1 power play unit in the league. And here's Lemieux shooting. That went wide. Hit Coffey, actually his own man. Brown keeps it in. Put it between the circles. Quinn looking for the puck. He's up in it by Poulin. Play goes on, and it's banged away by Poulin. And that should do it. 4 seconds to go in the Murphy penalty. Gord Murphy, the Flyer defenseman, ready to come on. And they're back to equal strength with 8:25 to go in the third period. Samuelson right side. Penguins in. Moves in deep. Trying to slide it in front for Sutter, and he can't connect on that pass. Bill Bourque of the Penguins just takes it, throws it up the boards. Lemieux took it across 2 lines, and that'll be called back. Now the face-off inside the Penguin blue line. 8:14 to go in the period. We're in the third. The Penguins 5, the Flyers 3 on the Penguins Hockey Network. Montreal ups their lead to 6-1 over Quebec now in the third period. Detroit leads Calgary 1-0 in the first. At Calgary, and the Blues have a 5-3 lead over Buffalo in the second period. Now back behind the Penguin net. It's centered in front. Comes off a stick to the far side. Bob Airy hit against the boards by Chicken, but got away from the check. And Bob Airy comes to center. He tried to shoot it in. Couldn't do it, and he gets a second crack at it. Now let's fire it in. Toronto leads the Islanders 2-1 in the third to update you on the scoreboard. Here's Boogert now. Center circle for the Flyers. Comes back, lay it softly to the left wing corner. Tocchet gives chase. It goes behind the net. Kerr out here trying to center that puck. Can't do it. Kerr with that great size, being pressured by Jim Johnson. 5-3 the Penguins lead. Frawley moves in to take command of the puck. Frawley now along the near wing. Lost it to Tocchet, who plays it in front of the net. Dykstra returning to the ice, makes the play to clear the zone. And the Penguins steer it up into the Flyers in with 7:20 to go in the third period. Out with the puck is Gord Murphy. Gave it away to Paul Coffey of the Penguins. Coffey to his partner Randy Hillier. Penguins have Hannon, Quinn, and Loney on the front line. Penguins deal it deep into the Flyers in. Icing coming up here against the Penguins with 7:07. That's the important number right now for the Penguins. They are that far away from picking up a victory in Philadelphia. The last time the Penguins won here in 1974, the final score, the Penguins 5, the Flyers 3. Always remember that history does repeat itself. Maybe not tonight, but it does come around, doesn't it?
It's repeated itself a little too often in this building.
No question.
Dave Poulin, a good face-off man. Big chance for Danny Quinn here to win a big draw. In his own end, the Penguins iced a puck by accident. They were trying to move it up, and the pass just went awry and went into the Flyers' end of the rink.
Quinn, Hannon, and Loney, the trio out for the Penguins, and their coach Gino Briacco. Flyers now giving left point to Wells. Slap shot that'll miss way wide of the cage. Couldn't find the target. Right wing boards, Penguin zone. Flyers in digging for it. Derek Smith challenged by Dan Quinn and pulled into by Troy Loney. Loney just pulled that puck underneath him and held on to it.
Bill McCreary gave him the benefit of the doubt, blew the whistle in his favor, and just called for the face-off out to the left of Wendell Young. Good play by Danny Quinn to go in and take a guy who's much bigger and much stronger than he is, Derek Smith, but that's the kind of play you have to make in your own end. Quinn did not back off one bit. He went in and took the man and made it a little bit easier, and then the puck popped loose and Loney was able to grab it.
The Penguins and Blues tomorrow night at the Civic Arena. Then the Boston Bruins will be the Penguins' next opponent after that at Boston, a Sunday afternoon game. Lemieux returns for the Penguins. He, Airy, and Dave Hannon now. Lemieux bearing down, trying to win the face-off. It's played to the corner, and the Penguins will control, and Bob Airy trying to get it out. Couldn't. Samuelson shot it too high over the glass. That hit Lemieux's stick. Bring you up to date once again, Paul, on the scoreboard.
Montreal leading Quebec 6-1 in the third period. Toronto with a 2-1 lead over the Islanders in the third. St. Louis leading Buffalo 5-3. The Penguins play the Blues tomorrow night. Detroit over Calgary 1-0 in the first period. New Jersey and Los Angeles a later start. New Jersey was in Minnesota. They were supposed to go to Los Angeles for a few days in LA in the sun. Jim Schoenfeld kept them in Minnesota until yesterday. Well, he wasn't too anxious to let his team have a lot of fun because they haven't been playing well.
Well, Minnesota came back and tied the game against the Devils. So it was his sentence, if you will. You'll stay in Minnesota in the cold country. And they tell us it was, I think, 38 Celsius below Robbie Brown was telling me in Edmonton yesterday.
Well, it was minus 23 Fahrenheit in North Dakota yesterday, so you know what it was in
That's
Winnipeg.
about right. All right, here's Hextall now as the Penguins played it to the Flyers in. Outlet pass comes up the right wing. Going forward back in the Penguin zone will be Gordon Dineen. Dineen, the Penguin defenseman. Play it blindly around the boards. Dahlquist after it. Poke checked away by Sutter, and it goes behind the Penguin net. Flyers Tocchet takes it, centers it, and Harry read that play well. 6:08 to go in the third period. Penguins 5, the Flyers 3. Robbie Brown to the right wing. Flyers in. Pulls up. Looks for Lemieux. Pass just beyond him and go after it far boards. Flipping it behind Hextall. And Lemieux's going to come off now as the Flyers quickly move the other way. Ron Sutter shoots it into the Penguin left wing corner. Now Dykstra and Sutter pushing and shoving. I think penalties are going to be coming up here. And now what happens? Sutter, and now from behind, Dykstra is hit by Tocchet as everybody grabs a hold of one another. Tempers are a little short right now. Dan Frawley in there, and Gordy Murphy's got his arms wrapped around him from behind. I believe we'll have minor penalties issued here to Sutter and Dykstra. We'll wait and see. There are bodies on the ice. And Berube is back in the action again. Berube taunting Cullen. Frawley now and Gord Murphy, they've joined one another. How'd that happen? Frawley had his helmet pulled off. Bork comes in trying to get a hold of him. Now Berube takes a whack at Dan Frawley. Berube wants to go with anybody.
No, he's been getting a regular shift tonight, but he doesn't seem to like that. He wants to go to the locker room.
Well, he will go now. I'm sure of that. Looks like Dan Frawley will go because Berube won the hot water.
Now Jay Wells wants a piece of John Cullen.
Now a fight breaks out. Jimmy Johnson and Rick Tocchet. Johnson and Rick Tocchet.
Remember, Johnson fought Tocchet in Johnson's rookie season with the Penguins.
Well,
this is not the first time those two have met.
They're up against the glass right now.
Look at Tocchet huffing and puffing. That makes you tired, boy.
Now Dykstra hit by Sutter. They were the original two, and I think they're the two guys that were going to go off originally. Linesman Kevin Collins trying to keep Berube away from the situation, and Berube's just like an untrained animal right now. Now here comes Tocchet and Johnson going again.
Tocchet acted like he was all tuckered out, and he was just kind of playing possum with Jimmy Johnson, and then all of a sudden he just got a new burst of energy and tried to get him. Now he kicks at him.
Boy, Johnson's in a vulnerable position right now, too, with his body, because if he twists down, he could really hurt himself. And now Tocchet and Jimmy Johnson will be separated.
Watch out here. Tocchet playing possum again. I'm telling you, you can't trust him. There he's going to... He is tired. Oh, my.
Well, he's played hard in this third period. The name of the game is to win the hockey game. Now he's gone for 5 minimum. Yeah, maybe more. So what good is he going to do there? You tell me. 5-3 Penguins will return on the Penguins Hockey Network. Sutter and Dykstra go in. I see Dan Frawley also there. Let's see, for the Penguins, Jim Johnson, Steve Dykstra, and Dan Frawley. I see Tocchet in the penalty box. I see Sutter, and I think Mr. Berube, we'll be getting that hot water.
Mike, you know, I want to say something about Dan Frawley because he sat out a lot of games for the Pens, and you remember he was captain for a while last year. And he's a guy who's given every ounce that he has to this Penguin team. And he's hung in there and waited for his chance to come back again and play. He got a chance to play against the Red Wings, a team he had scored 2 goals against the other night. And Frawley, don't think the other teams don't notice too. When we were in Winnipeg, I ran into Randy Carlyle, and Carlyle asked me where Frawley was. And I told him he was back in Pittsburgh, and he said, I'll tell you, he gave everything he had to this hockey club. And the other players around the league know what Frawley did for this team. You remember when the Penguins didn't have the big tough guys like Caulfield and Zemlak and people like that. And Frawley was the guy that stood up for his teammates night after night. He was like a sacrificial lamb at times. Good to see him back in there doing his thing.
Here comes the announcement of the penalties. 5 each to Tocchet and Johnson.
Pittsburgh penalty number 22, Steve Dykstra. Flyers penalty number 14, Ron Sutter. Each 2 minutes for roughing. Pittsburgh penalty number 28, Dan Frawley. Flyers penalty number 17, Craig Berube. Each 2 minutes for roughing, each a 10-minute misconduct. The penalties come at 14 minutes, 12 seconds. I'll review them for you.
All right, so Frawley and Berube go off. And you were so right about Frawley. He did. He hung tough. Berube was looking to go with anybody he could. Frawley ended up being the guy that he finally challenged, and they pick up roughing minors and misconduct penalties. Berube just looked, I mean, really, like you got to hold him back. I mean, so he doesn't go crazy. And a wild lion on the prairie. And
Well, I'll tell you what, Sutter and Tocchet both in the box is a nice thing to see for the Penguins.
oh, that doesn't help them at all. That's right. Yep.
Sutter has been a man possessed here in the third period. He wasn't getting a lot of ice in this game either, I didn't think. Not as much as you expect him to.
He got a minor penalty. 5:48 to go. That's the time left in regulation time. Penguins 5, Flyers 3. Penguins trying to snap a 42-game winless streak here in Philadelphia. The dates all the way back to 1974. Here's Robbie Brown. Drilling the puck into the Flyers in. And Samuelson going back to take command of it. Samuelson's pass up on the left wing, broken up by Robbie Brown, and he'll again feed it right back in behind Hextall. Goal in this period by Dan Quinn on a breakaway. Bullard and Eklund have scored for the Flyers. Penguins led 4-1 going in. Behind the zone net as the Flyers return it to the Penguin zone. Hilliard to Robbie Brown. Outlet pass to Bob Avery. Lemieux is open right side. Can he beat Samuelson? Comes down, puts the brakes on. Turns. Flip it down the boards. Into the corner. Coffey went after it for the Penguins. He'll poke it into the corner again as Erie overskated, and Terry Carkner returns to the counterattack. Out to Scott Melleby. Coffey and Poulin battle one another now as they hold the sticks. They're back up ice on a shot to the Penguin net. Stopped by Young. Samuelson gets it back. He tried to center. Could not do that. Lemieux trying to clean up his own end. We're under 5 minutes to go in regulation time. 5-3. The Penguins on top. Here's Robbie Brown cruising back Flyers ice. Across the ice now laterally. Shooting. Deflected off of Troy Loney of Pittsburgh, his own man. And Philadelphia gathers it in. Samuelson's pass to Scott Melleby. Remember now, Sutter can't come out until 2 minutes have expired and a whistle, Paul. So he could be in there even more than 2 minutes. Here is Troy Loney now. Feeding Dan Quinn. Stripped of the puck momentarily by Kerr. Reaching in for it is Chychrun of Philadelphia, but Loney beats him to it. And Loney into the far side for Dave Hannon, who's had a strong game tonight. Going to Quinn, a slap shot. Deflected off a stick and right up into the seats.
Danny Quinn made a nice play at center ice just to interfere, get in front of Tim Kerr. Again, another guy who's twice his size, but he just interfered a little bit, prevented him from getting to the puck, and he allowed his teammate to get to the puck and get it into the Flyers' end of the ring. Little things like that are what you look for from a guy, and that's just checking. That's what that is, and Danny Quinn playing a little defense here tonight, making some big plays, as well as the big goal that gave the Penguins the lead again, the 3-goal lead at that time, and the Flyers came back to make it 5-3.
Dave Hannon with the puck. Take it down the far side. By the way, this game, we had a lot of technical problems with it on the TV side of the KBO Entertainment Network. This game will be replayed, we're told, from Gil Lucas of KBL after the conclusion of this one in its entirety. In its entirety, we're told. And we hope that follows through. But right now, the Penguins lead 5-3 with less than 4 minutes to go. And the puck in the Flyers in. By Quinn, a backhand shot. Hextall made that save off his arm. Now Hannon goes in. Davey has really played well. Davey looks for Quinn. He goes off the board, so instead behind the net, and Hextall has to handle it. Penguins race to the bench to make a line change. And now Cullen comes on. Bukestad and Bork out also. On the move is Bullard. He'll flip it to the Penguin right wing corner. Comes all the way around behind the net. Young turns it back the other way. Cut off by Gord Murphy of Philadelphia. And he played it over the glass. And we'll get a face-off coming up here with 3 minutes and 24 seconds to go in regulation time. And the Canadians tonight beat Quebec 6-1. That's a final there. So they beat the Penguins the other night 5-1. They are just continuing to pile up the points and play well.
By the way, the St. Louis Blues ended a 16-year jinx in here earlier this season against the Flyers. Now, that isn't as quite as significant as this 15-year one because the Blues aren't in the same division, so it's not nearly as many games, but it's more years.
Yeah, that was back to 1972.
L.A. ended a jinx in here last year. There are a lot of teams.
New Jersey, of course.
Minnesota came in here and beat the Flyers earlier this year.
And the New Jersey Devils, I think that win that they had against Philadelphia really sparked them last year. When they had it, there's Coffey back. When they did win on the Spectrum finally, Coffey giving the puck to Randy Hillier. And he'll turn it over to Phil Bork as we approach now 3 minutes to go in regulation time. Bork's pass behind Bukestad. And he can't come up with it, but the Penguins do relay it back into Philly ice. Going for it, Gord Murphy. Cullen puts the pressure on. Pretty good team effort by the Penguins tonight. Here's Derek Smith. Derek Smith going to the Penguin blue line. Long shot on Young, but the Flyers are offside of the Penguin line with 2 minutes and 49 seconds left in regulation time. We're going down the stretch run here, and we'll be back in a moment. 5-3 Penguins on the Penguins Hockey Network. Well, we're back to play. The Flyers again guilty of an offside play. And now the time left on the scoreboard clock says 2 minutes and 36 seconds to go in regulation time. Well, out of the streak, Paul, I've seen all but 2 of the games. And that was in 75-76 when I went away for a year before coming back. And we tick it down here as the Penguins lead by 2. And here's Pelly Eklund. Sutter is back on, having served his minor penalty. But Tocchet, of course, will stay there almost till the end of the game.
How many plays do you think Lemieux has broken up tonight in his own end, besides all the breakaways he's had?
He really has. Here's a pass to Brown. Penguins come back 2-on-1. This one could really ice it. Here's Brown coming down. Take a shot. Now going to go. Save made. Rebound. And he can't put it in by Ron Hextall. Hextall a little slow in getting up after that shot. He appears to be hurt. Now back to center ice, and Gordon Dean comes up with the puck. Hextall really leaning down right now, and something's bothering Ron Hextall. Penguins feet it behind the net. 1:59 to go. 5-3 the Penguins lead. Loney with the puck. Now can the Penguins fight off the Flyers, and will they pull their goaltender, Hextall? Hextall's favoring something. At center, it's Lemieux back 3-on-1. Lemieux left side, Flyers in, comes in against Hextall, goes over down a hand, and he can't get the shot off. I don't think Davey expected Lemieux to make that play. Lemieux behind the net. Comes out. The net is upended as Loney from behind, and Hextall now goes to his knees. He is in some pain right now. He just collapsed. Boy, Lemieux probably should have taken that shot because I don't think he realized Hextall was hurt, and Ronnie really was not himself. But he tried to go to Hannon, and Hextall just really trying to keep it all together and get back up. Finally just collapsed. And he is down with 1:39 to go in regulation time.
I'm not sure where Ronnie Hextall took that shot from Robbie Brown, but it was the shot by Brown that hurt him.
Penguins in the game have 31 shots. The Flyers have 41. If you joined us late, John Cullen, Phil Bourque gave the Penguins a 2-0 lead in the first period before Ron Sutter connected to make it 2-1 Pittsburgh at the end of 1. Bob Airy and Robbie Brown with a pair of goals in that second period to make it 4-1. And then Bullard scored to make it 4-2 in the third. Quinn, a breakaway goal for the Penguins to make it 5-2. And Eklund to make it 5-3.
Lemieux trying to go over to Dave Hannon a moment ago, and Hannon just wasn't turned in the right position to take the pass from Lemieux and one time into the net. Then Troy Loney ran over Ronnie Hextall as if he didn't have enough problems.
That's not where he got hurt, Paul.
No, I know it isn't.
He did. He got hurt.
He got hurt on the
Brown.
shot by Robbie Brown. Lemieux then came out from behind the net, but a good play by Karkner to come over and cut him off.
Well, he was hurt prior to that. He was hurt definitely when Robbie Brown came in because he really scrambled to be able to get back up. He was really bent over as he watched Lemieux come down on a 3-on-1 break, and then eventually just collapsed under the legs went down. So the face-off will be to the right of the Philadelphia goal with 1:39 left. Bill McCreary checking on Hextall to see if he's all right to continue. And will they pull Hextall? He's going to be a little tough getting to the bench. Won't be easy for him because he, as I said, he is apparently injured right now. Goes through his ritual of slamming the stick on the net.
I think he took that shot in one of the more delicate parts of the body. I think that's what happened to him.
Here's Jay Wells now from the faceoff, and the Flyers have it. They come up trailing 5-3. We've had the witch doctors. We've had the good luck charms and everything. We'll see if they work. Down the right side center. Push one right to the net. That's stopped by Wendell Young. And 1:20 to go now as Lemieux works it back to the Flyer goal. Hextall sets it up for Gord Murphy. And Murphy out of his own end coming to center ice. Coffey reached in, couldn't get it. Poked away to Tim Kerr, and he does come into the Penguins end. Knocked aside by Troy Loney with 1:04 to go. Loney steps up to the Flyer line, and he shoots it down the boards with a minute to go. You might want to pour a cold one right now. It might be happening. 5-3, the Penguins lead. Get him ready. Here at center is Mike Bullard, and he'll shoot it in. Going around to the right wing corner of the Penguins in. Bob Airy of Pittsburgh. He'll come after a challenge by Scott Melleby. Eklund right point to Murphy. Shooting. The goaltender's off now. The extra man is on. They pull Hextall. 40 seconds to go. Pull in near corner in front. And glove by Wendell Young. And now the whistle sounds as McCreary lost sight of it. And he wants a face-off in the Penguin zone. 36 seconds to go. Well, the key here for the Penguins is that they have the luxury of having a 2-goal lead with only 36 seconds left. Now Tocchet finally comes out, And so does Jimmy Johnson for serving their major penalties. Flyers will make a change here. They're going to call a timeout. I believe they've called timeout. That is the call by Paul Holmgren. Well, Wendell Young, the former Flyer, picked up beginning of the season by the Penguins in exchange for a draft choice. On the verge right now of becoming the first winning Penguin goaltender in here since Andy Brown in January of 1974. When everything's been stacked against you, it's just amazing. The Penguins have come in here. The Flyers have been riddled with injuries, unable to do the job, and here they are. Basically, the Pens are the short-handed team with Zalapsky, Cunnyworth, Barrasso not able to go tonight, and the Flyers with only Sinisalo really on the shelf, and they are right now within range of beating Philadelphia for the first time in 15 years. Lemieux will get the assignment here for the Penguins, along with Bob Airey and Phil Bourque. Jim Johnson and Randy Hillier will be the two Penguin defensemen. The attackers on Tocchet, Poulin, Kerr, Sutter. For the Flyers up front, Karkner and Mike Bullard. So they go with the one defenseman. Going to play Bullard back to the center point area. Face off left wing circle. Penguins in. And it'll be Sutter to handle the draw for the Philadelphia Flyers. Lemieux will get the assignment for Pittsburgh, and he moves Bourque to the near side. Mario trying to set it up his way. It's Kerr against Lemieux. And the face-off won by Lemieux, and it comes to Jim Johnson around the boards, and out he comes. The Flyers have to chase. Going back into his own end will be Mike Bullard. Bullard left wing pass up ahead, knocked aside, and Karkner has it. Karkner right to the Penguin blue line as we approach 20 seconds to go in the game. Flyers trail by 2. Digging in front of the Penguin bench area. Tocchet steps in. It works free. Lemieux has it to the empty net, and he missed it. This will be no icing. It touched one of the Flyers, apparently. Play will continue. 9 seconds to go. Here come the Flyers in their final rush. 6 to go. Bullard shoots it. It's stopped by Young. He'll drop it off. Way behind the net. 1 second, and it's all over. It truly is a hockey night in Pittsburgh, and you can buy Sam a drink and get his dog 1-2. The Penguins have finally snapped the jinx as they defeat the Philadelphia Flyers here at the Spectrum. The final, the Penguins 5 and the Flyers 3. Oh, my. It's over. We'll be back momentarily. Well, it's over. Yeah, it finally is. The Penguins have defeated the Philadelphia Flyers by the score of 5-3, and we hope you had your friends and everybody watching and listening tonight as the Penguins finally do it. The last time was January 20th, 1974, and the Penguins outshot by the Flyers 16-9 in the final period, but they hold on, and they have gathered the victory in, and the Penguins now moved into second place into a tie with the Capitals. We'll have a recap for you, of course, on our overtime show that's coming up next. Reminder to you, the Blues at the arena tomorrow night, and our broadcast time on our Penguin Radio Network will begin at 7:20, but now we've got a whole lot of fun coming up, we think, for you on our overtime show. We'll be going to the Penguin locker room, and it should be a pretty wild scene. Stay tuned. Final score, the Penguins 5 and the Flyers 3, right here on the Penguins Hockey Network. And we welcome you back to overtime, where tonight the Pittsburgh Penguins have defeated the Philadelphia Flyers. The Penguins now moving their record to 11 games above the 500 mark, and they did it with a total team effort tonight. You may remember back in 1948 when the election was held between Dewey and Truman, and Dewey was declared the winner in the newspapers before the election really was decided, but it didn't happen. And tonight you can't stop the press as the Penguins have defeated the Philadelphia Flyers. The headlines tomorrow will read, the Penguins 5 and the Flyers 3. Gerald Ford, of course, was president of the United States. Mario Lemieux was just 13 years of age. Andy Brown was the last winning goaltender here, and he didn't wear a mask as the Penguins walked away with a victory. And that score, ironically, that night, January 20th, 1974, was Pittsburgh 5 and Philadelphia 3. The same thing we've had here. As I said, the Penguins, by virtue of the victory, now move back into a second-place tie with the Washington Capitals, and just 2 behind the New York Rangers. And a big reason for celebration tonight for the Penguins. Not only do they gather the victory, but they probably will gain a lot of momentum from this young team that they have. And in finally feeling and knowing that they can win here at the Spectrum in Philadelphia, and all that'll come out in the locker room when we go downstairs there. And the Pens, a big victory tonight, and Paul Steigerwald is standing by with one of the veteran members of this team, a guy who has seen it all and been through many of those losses here, but finally this sweet taste of victory. Dave Hannon. Let's go downstairs.
Thank you, Mike. Yeah, there's really nobody in this whole building that's been through more of them than you have, Mike, and I feel good for you to finally see it happen. And I know that you've been wanting this very badly. And, Davey, this is the sheet, the score sheet from 1974. I want to hold it up, and I'm going to let you destroy it right now in front of everybody in Pittsburgh. Go ahead. Just tear it up. No, come on. I want you to do it. I want a Penguin to just stare. Just crumple it up and get there. Good. Now get it out of here, and we'll never have to look at it again. And you have anything you would like to say after this win?
Well, you know, it's sure nice. It's been a long time coming, I think. We've played some good games in here all the years I've been in Pittsburgh, and I know to be successful in the playoffs, we're going to have to win in this building. And, you know, we might meet them, you know, who knows when and what round in the playoffs. But, you know, I thought we all came to play tonight. It was a big effort. You know, Wendell Young played great net, and all the lines were going, and we made all the smart plays at the certain times, and it was just a big win for us for sure.
You know, this week I was in the locker room one day after the morning skate, and I heard one of the stations, radio stations in Pittsburgh, and a lot of them have been talking up this jinx, talking about how the Penguins couldn't do it themselves, and they needed us to go down there and help them. And a lot of people really rallied around the Penguins, but at the same time I felt like you guys must have been really sick and tired of hearing about the jinx.
Well, you know, I think that the media makes more of it than anything. Every time we come in here, it's, you know, the same thing. We haven't won here in so long, and the people in Pittsburgh, you know, they know the streak, obviously, because they've been watching through thick and thin for the last 10 or 12 years or whatever. And I mean, it's the type of hockey team we have. I think it gives us that much more confidence to come in here and know that we've played well before. We've lost some games on bad bounces, and tonight, you know, we just weren't going to be denied, and I think that was the key.
When you went into the third period, when you came in here between periods, I noticed it was kind of quiet over there. You guys knew what you were about to do and what you needed to do. Flyers, I'm sure you knew were going to come out flying at the start of the third to try to get back into it.
Well, that's our game. We knew they were going to come in and dump the puck. We just had to make sure we had a guy back and things, making sure defensively. I know that we had to play it like a playoff game, and I think, you know, that's the type of, you know, games you're going to see in the playoffs, especially, you know, the Montreal game we lost. We could have played a little better, but we knew we had to come in here and play the same type style that we've been winning and successful this year, and we just did that tonight, and it's a nice feeling, you know. We just look forward to tomorrow night and you know, trying to get back into first place. That's where we want to be.
Okay, Davey, I heard you coming off the ice. You said big 2 points, and I guess that sums it up. That's the way you guys approach every game.
Well, we have to. I mean, you know, like we say, we won here now. Now we're confident we can win here. I mean, no matter what happens in the regular season, you got to come in and play well in the playoffs. And I mean, our goal, and you know, we're striving to get into first place. We have games in hand, and you know, that's the type of team. We have a lot of character here now, and we want to win. And when you want to win like that, you know, it's contagious throughout the whole team. And I think, you know, everybody knows that we have a good team, but we have to come to work every night and to be successful. And we're, you know, 30-some games away or whatever, but we're looking forward to it.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Paul.
Davey Hannon, who was a big part of the Penguins' win tonight, and you can say what you want. It was just 2 points, but a much bigger 2 points than I think anybody really realizes, except for maybe the guys who've been through a lot of the tough games here in Philadelphia. We'll be back with Wendell Young, the Penguins' secret weapon, here tonight in just a moment on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Well, just to, before we go to the scoring summary, what happened here tonight, not only are the Penguins a proud crew to win here tonight in Philadelphia, but I know so many of the Penguin fans who have followed this team through all the lean years and have seen so many tough times, who have wanted the Penguins to do well, finally get their night of enjoyment, and the Penguins do defeat the Flyers finally 5-3. And let's look at how they did it. We're going to go back to the Pens' first win since '74. Wendell Young makes 39 saves in the game. The Penguins score one power play goal and one shorthanded goal. John Cullen and Robbie Brown each had a goal and an assist, and Mario Lemieux had 2 assists, but really is not indicative of how well he played here tonight. With the play of Ron Hextall, if it had not been for him, Lemieux might have been just absolutely unbelievable here at the Spectrum here this evening. The scoring, Cullen and Bourque to make it 2-0 Pittsburgh. Then Sutter connected the first period. Second period, Bob Airy scored for the Penguins. And Robbie Brown got the game-winning goal. His 38th at 9:53. The final period, Bullard. Very quickly, the Flyers came out and smoked the Penguins to make it 4-2. But Quinn, then with a big insurance goal, and Eklund closed it out. And the Penguins win 5-3. The shots total, Flyers end up with 42. And the Penguins with 31. All right, Paul standing by now with another Penguin down in the locker room, and a former Flyer of all things. An ironic twist, but Wendell Young with a big night tonight for the Pens, and he joins Paul at the moment.
Thank you, Mike. Wendell, you were in goal last year to stretch the streak to 38 and beat the Penguins 3-2. You came back tonight and just played super against your old team, and it must make you feel very good.
Feels good coming back in the Spectrum. You know, I guess they didn't want me, and I guess the Penguins did, and I came back. It feels good. All I wanted was a chance to play against them.
You know, you looked awful sharp today in warm-ups, I thought anyway, and you just carried right over into the game. You just looked like you were on your game right from the opening face-off tonight.
I've been feeling better more and more every day since I've been back up from the minors. I think the thing is I'm getting getting some games and getting some you know, game time. It's a lot different than being in practice.
What's the significance of this win from the Flyers' perspective, do you think? In other words, if they're looking at the Penguins right now, what are they thinking about what this loss meant to them?
I think they realize what kind of team we have now, and you know, we've made a few changes. We've matured. We've got a young team, and you know, we're maturing into a good team. And I think they realize that we can come in here now and beat them. And that long streak was a psychological thing for them. And if we kept on losing going into the playoffs, you know, they'd have the advantage.
The last goaltender to win in here for the Penguins was Andy Brown. He wasn't wearing a mask. And if you hadn't been wearing a mask, you might have some blood on your face right now, right?
I got lucky on a few hit me in the head while I was down, and that's the type of game it was. You know, I got lucky on a few, and you know, all the credit's got to go to our forwards who played strong in the zone, and our D kept a lot of shots from the outside.
Still, though, they came flying in the third, didn't they? I mean, they really wanted to get back into the game with a couple breakaways, and you were there to make the saves.
That's the kind of game we knew that that's the kind of game they're going to play in the third and come out that way, and you know, we still played a strong third, and you know, Hextall made some pretty good saves tonight also, and that could have been the difference in the game right there.
Congratulations on a big win.
Thanks.
Wendell Young, Penguin goaltender, has been our guest, and we'll return to the Spectrum in just a moment on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Well, the Penguins winners over the Flyers here this evening, and quickly on the US Air scoreboard as we update you as we move away now. Montreal beat Quebec 6-1. Toronto leads the Islanders 2-1 in the third period, the last score that we had there from the Nassau County Coliseum. Also in progress, the Blues lead Buffalo 5-3 in the third, and Detroit leads Calgary 2-0 in period number 2. Two other games later and just underway, New Jersey at Los Angeles. And I don't believe there's any score in that game as of right now. And well, that's the only game still to be decided, of course, with Calgary battling. All right, tomorrow we will be on the air at 7:20 on our radio side for our game with the St. Louis Blues. We hope you'll join us for that one if you can't be with us in person. And a reminder to you that a sellout crowd watched this one tonight, 17,423. And the final score tonight, the Pittsburgh Penguins defeat the Philadelphia Flyers. You heard me right. The Penguins 5 and the Flyers 3. And for Paul Steigerwald, this is Mike Lang saying so long, and this is the Penguins Hockey Network.